There once was a ship that put to sea. The name of the ship was the Billy O T. The winds blew hard, her bow dipped down. Below me, bully boys blow. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. She'd not been 2 weeks from shore when down on her a right whale bore. The captain called all hands and swore he'd take that whale in tow. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. Before the boat had hit the water, the whale's tail came up and caught her. All hands to the side harpooned and fought her when she dived down low. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. No line was cut, no whale was freed. The captain's mind was not on greed, but he belonged to the whaleman's creed. She took that ship in tow. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea and rum. One day when the tonguing is done, we'll take our leave and go. For 40 days or even more, the line went slack, then tight once more. Our boats were lost, there were only 4, and still that whale did go. Soon may the wellerman come.
Alrighty, it's time. Let's freaking do it. Welcome in. Welcome. All right, let me go ahead and turn that down. Welcome in. Alrighty, hello. We're back. We are back at it. Welcome in. Hello, how we doing? How we feeling? It's good to see you guys, man. Hello. Alrighty. All right, we're gonna get into this, man. We are about to get into this. Welcome. Alrighty. Okay. We're gonna run that back one more time because that is such a good song. We're gonna run that back one more time. Now you might be wondering why are we playing sea shanties? Well, our guest today is actually a very big fan of Sea of Thieves. Our guest today loves Sea of Thieves, so I was like, you know what? How about we start this out with a good old sea shanty? Alrighty, a copyright free one, that is, I should say. Alrighty. All right. Let's see here. Welcome in. How we doing? Ahoy! Hello. Hi, Salt. Welcome in. The lady of the hour. Welcome. How we doing, Salt? How we doing, Xenon? How we doing, Sydney? Welcome in. How you legends doing? Welcome. Hopefully you guys are doing good, man. Welcome in. I hope you guys are doing great. Happy Friday, everyone. Alrighty. Let me pull this up here. Here we go. Alrighty, so hello, welcome in everybody. Hopefully everyone's doing well. If you guys are brand new here, if you guys are watching this for the first time and you're seeing me for the first time, or if you guys are coming back to this and you're watching it once it is a VOD, whatever it may be, hello, my name is Oborrok. I am known as the White Wolf. My community is known as the Galactic Wolfpack. Everything we do is about positivity. We chill, we hang out, we vibe, we play a whole bunch of different games, and we also do a podcast. That's what we're doing today. We are on episode 16 of our podcast, known as the PAWCAST. Get it? All right. Now, alrighty. Hopefully everyone has been having a great week. Do you guys got any plans for the weekend? Our theme today is going to be the experience of the 5-star chef life. So we are going to be bringing on a longtime friend of mine, SaltGodsDaughter. I've known her for a very long time, so I know her as Mesa, but she now goes by Salt. So we're gonna bring on Salt, and we're gonna talk about her experience working in the 5-star chef business industry area of expertise and profession. So it's gonna be a good time. It's gonna be a really good time. Now, if you guys are wanting to check out any of the other socials that we do have the Twitter, we got the Instagram, TikTok, Facebook has a different name now. It goes by the Cosmos, I believe the actual like URL is Oborrok's Cosmos, I believe, but pretty much across every platform, the name is just Oborrok, Oborrok. So if you guys are interested in like I said, we do also play games and we make other kinds of content. If you guys are interested in any of that, then you could check me out on TikTok, Instagram, Twitter, any of that. Post a whole bunch of different wide variety of content, and that is across all of those different platforms. And again, that is at Oborrok, so Oborrok. Now we also do stream. We do also stream. We play the video games and we like stream them. We hang out with the community. So where we do that is currently on Twitch. I kind of go between Twitch and Kick. It's another platform, KICK. It's another streaming platform. I kind of go between the two. Right now I'm a little bit more focused on Twitch. That's kind of where more of the streams have been, but you can find me on Twitch, you can find me on Kick. Both of those are at Oborrok as well. So if you guys are wanting to be a part of any of the streams, if you guys wanted to be a part of any of the streams and where we hang out, we play games and just have a good time, then I'm on both of those platforms pretty often. Alrighty. Now, also, if you guys are liking this series so far, I know we did take a 1 week break. We had a 1 week break last week because I was Jason Voorhees. As you guys know, it is October as of the moment that we are speaking. So my mom paints my face. She paints my face to look like a whole bunch of different characters, right? And last week I was Jason Voorhees. So, well, she painted his mask, his like hockey mask on my face. So we took a break last week and we did not have a podcast episode last week, but now we are back at it. So I'm excited to get into this episode. And also, if you guys do want to see what that makeup cosplay paint job looked like, we do have that on YouTube. There's a couple YouTube shorts, and I believe there's also a community post about it. If you want to check that out, it is on there. Alrighty. Now, if you guys are enjoying this series, please give it a like if you haven't already done so. It does help out a lot, and I massively appreciate it. To everyone that has already done so, seriously, thank you very much. And also, if you guys are enjoying these longer streams or any of this kind of content, the live content, if you guys are enjoying the gaming content, the guides, walkthroughs, tutorials, breakdowns, short form content, any of that, and you haven't already hit that subscribe button, please do. It does help out a lot, and I massively appreciate that. Also, everyone that has already done so, thank you very much. Now, also, if anyone has any comments, concerns, questions, or anything for myself or for Salt today, you guys are more than welcome to leave them in the live chat as this is live. If you're coming back and you're watching this once it is a VOD, you can absolutely leave them in the comment section. Or if you're listening on Spotify, yes, we are also on Spotify, then you can scroll down a little bit on Spotify, and then there is a Q&A section, and then you can type in any questions, comments, concerns, any of that, and we will absolutely go back and we will address those and we'll talk about those, answer questions or anything like that. So I'm very excited about this. Let's get into this. I'm going to call up Salt right now. So let's do this. Let's do it, man. Let's do it. Oh, snap. I forgot about that. There we go. Alrighty. Hello.
Hello.
Hi. How you doing? Hello.
I'm good. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic. It's good to it is very good to hear from you. Hello. Welcome.
Hello.
Welcome in. Okay, let me see
Yeah, I feel like it's been
if
like forever since we've actually
yeah,
done like a voice call.
it's been a minute. It definitely has been a minute. Alrighty. I hope you've been well. What's what you up to today? What you been up to today? How's your week been? Welcome in.
Well, today was my Monday and I opened at work
Very
and
nice.
it was a busy day. Like, I don't know, I felt exhausted, which made it feel like rougher than it really was. Um, and that's just like whatever has to do with me.
Mhm.
Otherwise work wasn't really that tough. Like we were decently busy. Um, but I've kind of got this flow going when it comes to working on the line. So as long as my our new chef de cuisine doesn't like just jump in because he thinks I'm not doing good, then I'm good because he just gets he tries to take over and it just gets out of order and then stuff winds up being late and it's like, chef, I said I was fine.
I hear you on that. I hear you on that. Do you think that's maybe just a I mean that maybe is just how he operates. That's kind of just he wants to feel like maybe a sense of
I
I've
think
been
it's
here
just
for a long
growing
time,
pains.
or yeah,
I think it's just growing pains. Like he's just stepping into the chef de cuisine position, because our old chef de cuisine left
Mhm.
a while ago. And so like management's just kind of like shifting upwards. He's going from sous chef to chef de cuisine.
Mhm.
The junior sous is now the sous, and we're looking for a new junior sous. Um,
So a lot of positions are changing around. My goodness.
yeah, yeah. Um, and so I think it's just kind of growing pains because like today as soon as I got to work, he wanted to teach me how to make biscuits correctly, which like, I didn't say this to him because it's kind of like I try
Etiquette,
not
like
to.
kind of
Yeah, it's like
chef
it's
etiquette.
etiquette, like personal etiquette. Like I try to leave all my ego at the door. So whether or not I know something
Absolutely.
or I feel like I know something better than someone, I want to approach it as though like I'm gonna learn something
In a
regardless.
in a humbling way, and I respect
Yeah,
that. I definitely
yeah.
respect that. Absolutely.
And
Because
that's been
there
one of
are
my most
some people
favorite
that would
tools.
just be like, there are some people that would just be like, I absolutely know it better. You're not going to teach me anything new.
Yeah,
And you're just like,
I have coworkers
bro,
like that.
it's
Yep.
not even like that. Like
And I try
what?
to yeah, I try to tell them like I'm like, dude, it's not about what you know. I'm not implying that you don't know. I want to show you like how I do it and see like, 'cause I've been watching how you do it, or I asked you to show me, like I'd like to show you. Like, we do it differently. Let's see what we can learn from each other. But yeah,
I like
so
that.
straight away today he wants to show me how to do biscuits because everyone's slowly started doing biscuits their own way, and I'm like in my head I'm like I've got the recipe memorized. The chef that wrote the recipe, our pastry chef, like showed me exactly how to do it and has continued to like compliment me on my biscuits looking almost exactly like her biscuits. And like I know that other people are making them bad. Like I've had that complaint that the biscuits are just really inconsistent and sometimes they look awful. Um
Really? Oh my goodness.
and yeah, and so I just think it's funny that like I'm gonna be the one person to get the training when I'm probably the least person, or I probably need it the least. Um yeah, it's
Yeah.
just
Yeah.
funny
No,
situation.
I,
I
I
really
hear
hope that
you.
he needs to train everyone because usually he means well. He wants to train everyone to do everything exactly the same, which is important, but then he'll never get around to it.
Mhm.
And so it's just me getting the training on sometimes it's techniques or it's the way that we're plating that I created. And so I'm just being retrained by him on what I trained him on, essentially. And I'm like, please train everyone else. They're not going to listen to me. They'll listen to you.
I hear you on that. I definitely hear you on that. I when I was retail's very different, but when I was in retail, I had a very like specific flow to like how I worked, where I worked,
Mhm.
how I would go about things, my timing, my pacing, all this kind of stuff. And I had it down to a T. I knew like where to go, what to do. It took me a while to get to that, but I finally gained the experience to be able to do that. And then
Mhm.
when you would just have that one like petty manager that'd come out of nowhere and be like, nah, it needs to be an inch to the left, or like you need to take down this whole shelf and you need to fix it. And you're like, dude, I know you ain't got nothing better to do. Like, come on. Like,
Yeah.
dude,
Or
there's
they're like,
no.
I don't like the way you're doing everything, even though
Hmm.
there's nothing wrong with it.
Yeah, there's
It shouldn't be
literally
a
exactly
personal thing.
nothing
Like
wrong with it.
you do it how it works for you, but I'm gonna make you do it the way that I want to do it. And I'm gonna get mad if I don't see you doing it that way. And then it
Right.
totally ruins your whole flow. You're less
Yeah, and then so
less
they
productive.
throw off the emperor's groove, and they're like,
Yep.
why aren't you so efficient anymore through the rest of the shift? And I'm like,
Yeah.
you did that. I'm like, what? I'm like, what?
Yeah. That's
Oh
that's
man.
another thing I'm dealing with this chef is like, one, him just jumping in and like taking over certain things. And so I'm like, okay, now all my timing's off or
Mhm.
like this or that. He's also like, I want you to set everything up like this because I think this is the best way. And I'm like, for you, maybe I've got
Mhm.
some complaints about that. And for me personally, I like the way that the executive chef does it. And he showed me like a really good method. And like, dude, I've gotten my ticket times down to like 5 minutes. I've just like all my food's really consistent. It's delicious. Like it looks good. And I'm staying clean and organized throughout the entire day. And like there's no stress. But now you want me to do it this way, which this isn't the important part. Like it's not like I'm making the food wrong. Like you just want me to like I don't know, you're
It's
disrupting this method that worked
it's
for me.
it's do you think it's like do you think it's maybe like, I mean, obviously, there's like ego, right? But do you think
Mhm.
it's kind of just like a mentality of trying to fix something that's not broken because I don't know, maybe you're thinking you're not doing enough. So then maybe like you start going and looking at things that don't need to be done, but then you're like, this could be done better. I could do this better. Like, do you think maybe it's that because it's like maybe they know they should be doing something different and then they're just like, well, no, it's certainly not me. I need to go retrain everybody. Like, 'cause
I I personally don't like to that's what I call doing emotional work for other people.
mhm,
And I don't like to do that, you know.
mhm,
I've got my own emotions are hard enough.
yeah,
Uh so the way that uh I don't know, choose to understand it is he's just too busy with everything that he has to do because his job's way, way larger, way more broad. It covers way more than mine. And so he's not seeing the entire picture of what I'm doing. He's seeing like this snapshot because he's looking at an even bigger picture than I am.
mm,
And so he believes he's helping. He means well. Um, and I just need to have that conversation with him so he understands that like I did find a way to do it and like I would appreciate it as if he asks me if I'm okay and I say yes, that he'll trust me.
yeah, yeah. Having communication in the workplace, I mean
Mhm.
that can go for anything, right? You have to
Yeah.
be informed. You have to let your coworkers, your individual chefs in different departments. You got to let them know, right? There's a process of you know when you guys are restocking on ingredients, when everything is taken care of, when
Mhm.
this or this is happening, right? So there's a flow and there's a process. So there needs to be information. There needs to be communication, right? There needs to be communication. So
Yeah.
yeah, I'm talking about it and being like, hey man, I appreciate it. I got this. Maybe there's something else,
Mhm.
something else can be
Yeah.
taken care of, but it's one of those things where maybe, I mean, I don't know, like you said, his field, what he's doing is way more, and now he's in this department and he's like, okay, now I got to look at this and I got to do this, and it's just like this doesn't need to be
Yeah. And
fixed, but
he
it's
might
like,
be used, yeah, he might be used to having to fix things.
mhm,
And, maybe he doesn't realize that what I'm doing isn't broken. It might
right,
not be efficient in his eyes. It might not be the most efficient because I'm still learning. I'm still like, that's what I'm working on.
mhm,
But, you know, I, I need to just remind him that I need him to trust me, which fortunately today he did, trust me. Every time he would ask if I'm good, I'd say, yeah, I'm good, chef. And he would let me continue doing what I'm doing. And, I had a good day with doing what I was doing. Um, and, I had help and I would just let them know, like, hey, like I'll let you know if I need a hand. Um, I appreciate you being aware that I've got orders and all that, but like, we've got a lot of stuff to do. If I can help you get your stuff done by not needing you up here, I'm gonna try and do that. Also, I'm challenging myself. I found something to work on and I want to work on it.
I like that. I like that. I'm definitely there with you as well. Like I like a good challenge. I like putting my mind to a challenge and seeing what I can accomplish, crossing paths
Mhm.
with people that may not agree with what I'm doing or the way I do it definitely makes the situation hard, but as we said a little while ago also, like humbling yourself before it and being just like, I know how to do this, but okay, show me again, like being calm in the situation and communicating is very important, and I like that. I definitely like
Yeah,
that.
because I
um
mean, I have nothing to lose from getting taught how to do something for the
right,
100th time.
right, exactly.
I might learn something new,
Hmm.
and that's what I want. That's why I do what I do. Like, part of it is I love cooking, I love feeding people, but also I'm constantly learning, and that keeps it exciting for me, which is really important for someone with ADHD.
Oh,
Very
absolutely. No,
important.
absolutely. I could say, as someone also with ADHD, when it comes to like watching a movie, there are some movies that just don't grip me at all, and I'm like
Yeah.
completely out of it, right? But then there are some movies that have me, I don't look at my phone, look down, look to the side. You're like, "Hey, Obo, you're not getting my attention." Like that movie's got me, right? And
Yeah.
then it's also like every time I rewatch it, I find something that I didn't see the last time. I see a
Yes.
detail, a person,
Yes.
a poster on the wall as the character walked by, or so it's
Mhm.
always like the more you do something, you can learn it. So you may you can learn something new. So you may know this. You could do it with your eyes closed, one hand tied behind your back, right? You could absolutely do this, but maybe
Mhm.
in learning a different method, you might learn something new, which is always
Yep.
really good, and that's a very positive way of looking at it too. Instead of be like, man, I totally know this, and like grumbling under your breath, being like, I do know how to do this, but I honestly might learn something new. So I really
Yeah.
like that, and I respect
And
that a lot.
like approaching everything like you know better or you already know this is a waste of your time, like that to me is a waste of energy. And
Hmm.
I don't have a lot of that. Um so I have to be like very careful like what I use that on. And
Hmm.
so it's honestly been so much easier for me to just approach things that way, just like you know, like cool. I'm going to see it again. I'm going to see someone who knows what they're talking about show me this thing again and I'm going to learn. I'm going to see something that I didn't see last time. And I'm going to be better for it, like or maybe they're going to share a new detail, maybe they're going to share something new they learned with me, and I get to like see a little bit into their chefy brain and absorb something. Um and that's exciting to me.
I like that. I like that a lot. I want to take a moment to greet everyone that I have not greeted yet. Himbo, what's going on? How you doing? Welcome in. Demon King, welcome. What's going on, guys? Mama Wolf, also. We have the
Mama
Mama,
Wolf.
the
It's
Mama
Mama Wolf,
Wolf.
yeah!
Yes, we have Eternal as well. Welcome in,
Yeah.
everyone. We have Viking.
Hiking.
And I'm gonna say that wrong. Raganath. Ragunath? I'm saying that wrong, and I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry. I'm saying that incorrectly. But welcome in, everyone. Hello. Hopefully everyone is doing well. Thank you guys very much for hopping in here, listening in from my car. 2 hour car ride. Let's go. Let's freaking go, man.
Road
Yo.
trip.
Oh, Kenshin, my boy. My boy. I got you. I got you, man. Yo, I do love that. The pronunciation wasn't bad. Okay, cool. Okay, I'm just making sure because you know me, Kenshin. I butcher names like crazy. But Kenshin, welcome in. It's great to see you over here on the red side on YouTube, baby. Thank you very much for hopping in here, man. And Viking, please safe travels, brother. Alrighty, now so Salt, also known as Miss Mesa. I
Yeah.
have a. I'm like smile. I'm really excited to have you here. I'm really excited to have you here. Thank you for taking the time.
I'm
I
excited to be here.
really, really, really appreciate that. Alrighty. So my first question for you, and by the way, again, if you guys have any questions, if you guys have any questions for Salt, again, feel you know you are absolutely free to leave them in the live chat. Once this is a VOD, you can come back to it, comment on it if you want to. You can leave it in the Q&A section on Spotify, any of that. So we are definitely more than happy to read your guys' comments and hear what you guys have to say also. Alrighty, so my first question for you, Salt, is What is your earliest memory of wanting to cook slash be a chef? And was there any specific inspiration?
Uh, most of my earliest memories are dinner with my family. Um, specifically, like all like the vegetable dishes that my mom used to make. Um, my dad usually focused on meat, and that wasn't the most exciting for me,
Mhm.
for a couple reasons. But I loved everything that my mom would make except for zucchini. Um,
No zucchini.
I love zucchini. I love zucchini, but she was overcooking it, which I
Oh
didn't know
dang.
until like I was, what, deep in the cooking game myself.
Mhm.
I love it now, but it can't be overcooked. But everything that she would make, the veggie dishes, the rice, like the sides, like that kind of stuff. Um, those are always my favorite. There's just so much more flavor. Uh, they were so much more filling. They were so much more appealing, color wise. And it just meat took a huge backseat to to those. Um, and it still does. I still absolutely love vegetables. I would every day prefer to do vegetarian dishes or vegetable sides, like that kind of stuff. Like
And I mean,
that's what's appealing to me.
they're so good for
Yeah.
you too.
Yeah.
I mean, we've always heard growing up, you gotta eat your vegetables, right? You gotta eat your green beans and your Brussels sprouts and all that. And it's like it was something that I always like. I would have like my carrots and all that like here and there, but it was never something that I focused. I was like, I just want to eat a lot of food, right? It was basically kind of like
Mhm.
just me growing up. And then, like, as my mom got really serious about her fitness journey, I was like, let me see what's going on here. She started cooking differently. She started like having a whole different way about how she looked at food, how she prepared it, all this kind of stuff. And I was like, maybe there's something to this. Like I would try to have, fruits and vegetables here and there, but it wasn't something that I really like focused. I was just like, I'm hungry, I'm gonna eat, I'm no longer hungry. Okay, cool, move on. Right. But now it's like my mom is like stressing the importance of like, have a salad, have some lettuce, put some, extra butter lettuce on that sandwich. Like
Mhm.
you want to make sure that you're having some vegetables. And it's something that I never really thought was that important until my mom really got into this fitness journey and taking care of her body. And I was like,
Mhm.
wow, this is actually so important. Everything that you eat, I mean, it could positively impact you, it could negatively impact you, right? So it's like you got to have a
Yeah.
proper balance of everything. And vegetables just weren't something that I focused on until more recently over the last couple of years. And it's like, wow, I feel a lot healthier now because I'm getting a proper balance in my meal plan, right? Vegetables,
Yeah.
fruit, all that kind of stuff.
And
um
there's so much important nutrients in those vegetables that you're not getting
oh
from
yeah,
meat.
oh yeah, absolutely.
Um, I just yeah.
I
I
do.
love vegetables. That's where all the good flavor is to me.
And
Um,
like you said as well, they're very colorful. Like if you look at just
yes.
like an entire like countertop of, you know, vegetables that and like the ability to prepare them anyway, you're like, oh man, this is about to be fun. Like it looks like I
Yeah.
love bell peppers. I
Oh,
absolutely
me
love bell
too.
peppers. I love broccoli.
Yeah.
Brussels sprouts were not something that I liked even like coming into trying to eat more vegetables, like it was something I could not eat. Now I love them, right? I love
Yeah.
Brussels sprouts. All that kind of and carrots too. Like if you like steamed carrots. Have you ever had
Mhm.
like steamed carrots with like a pinch of like brown sugar on top of them?
Yeah.
Listen, oh man, I'm gonna get hungry. I'm gonna get hungry this whole episode.
Um,
Like.
real quick,
Hmm.
Haley Price in chat, that is Sister Salt.
Hey, let's go. Welcome in.
Hello.
Hello. hello. Hello, hello. Yo, welcome in the sister of Salt. Hey, yo. That's what's up. That's what's up. Welcome in. Thank you very much for joining us. We appreciate you. Hello. He said, Miss Mesa, I'm a huge fan. Hey, yo. That's freaking awesome. That is
I
really,
love
really
purple
cool.
cabbage.
That is really cool. That
Oh,
is really, really cool. Alrighty. But welcome in. Thank you for joining us. Hello. Let me see some messages that I haven't caught up on yet. Let me see here.
Viking
Let me see
asked if
here.
pineapple goes on pizza, and I think it absolutely does for a
Okay.
couple reasons.
Okay. Tell me about this.
Whatever you like on pizza goes on pizza.
Exactly. Yeah. It's completely up to you.
there's yeah, there's no camps here. Um, Also, if you look at like the earliest depictions of pizza, which are like these frescoes that we've been discovering in Pompeii while we're like excavating,
Mhm.
um, pizza originally was more like a salad of it was like this garlicky cheese, which I'm totally blanking on the name of at the moment. But they had, typical things that you find on pizza, but also things like pomegranate, like other sweet, citrusy,
Really?
acidic
Pomegranate. I
fruits.
would have never.
Yeah. So all this
Interesting.
stuff went onto this like specially made bread, which the bread was more like a plate, but then people eventually started like incorporating the plate into it and eating it with that, and it eventually evolved into many many dishes. One of those being pizza. So some of the earliest pizzas had similar things to pineapple on them. So whatever you want on your pizza, go for it.
We gotta respect the origin too, the lore.
Yeah,
We gotta we gotta
the
yeah.
pizza lore.
We have to respect the lore, you know what I'm saying? Where it
Oh my
came
god, I love
from.
mushrooms.
Mushrooms are amazing. Oh my goodness. There's so many different ways to cook them too. So many
Yeah,
different ways to cook them.
yeah.
But yeah, mushrooms are amazing. Like sauteed mushrooms and like a big steak or mushrooms on
Mhm.
a pizza. Like my to this day favorite pizza is pepperoni, olives, and mushroom. That is like I got it once when I was maybe 8 or 9, ever since been my absolute favorite pizza,
Yeah,
right? Like I'll
that's
have,
amazing.
chicken bacon ranch pizza. I'll have like a, you know, what what's it called, like a supreme pizza, Hawaiian pizza. Like I'll have all kinds of different pizzas. But absolute favorite pepperoni olives mushroom, and it's so good. It's so good. It's so
Oh
good. I
yeah.
love it. I love it so much.
Damn,
Let's
that
see.
sounds good.
Let's see.
We had pizza
Again,
last night,
oh, what kind of
and
pizza
it
did you
was
have?
I think it was like a meat lovers. It was like a take
Oh, it's
take
so
and bake,
good. Oh,
one
those
that
are
my
so good.
sister and her husband got, and yeah, it was pretty good.
Nice. Very nice.
It was pretty good. It the sausage on it reminded me of uh like the kind of meat that you would get on like a gyro or something,
Mhm.
like kebab meat, which was interesting. Um,
On a
I wasn't really
pizza, huh?
expecting that. Yeah,
Hmm.
like my vision was bugging me yesterday, so I couldn't really see it until like I tried it, and I was like, oh, this reminds me of kebab meat. But it was good. It was really good.
That's what's up. That's what's up.
Yeah.
Oh, we have a birthday coming up. We have a birthday coming up. It is hold up. So it is Eternal's birthday on Sunday. Of course he didn't mention it. Of course he didn't mention it, bro. But yo, let's freaking go. Happy early birthday to Eternal. We definitely got to make sure we get some games on Sunday, man. Happy early birthday, my man. And thank you. Thank you,
Happy early
Kenshin.
birthday.
Thank you, my man. Let's see here. Xenon says super cute avatar, by the way. Salt. Let's see here.
Thanks. That's my Sea of Thieves character. And it's
Um,
basically the avatar I use for everything. And then you see the little rat in the background. That's the rat version of my character, and that I think I probably used my rat a little more.
mhm. I was thinking, I was actually thinking when you sent me the two, I was like, okay, I was like, I kind of want to use the Sea of Thieves character, right? But then I was like, the rat would be really funny too. So I was like, hold on, do I use the rat? Do I use the Sea of Thieves character? And then I put on I mean that's in the thumbnail, right? I put the Sea of Thieves character, and then I thought to myself, I was like, wait a minute, we're talking about like the 5-star kitchen. I was like, if I did the rat, it'd be hilarious because it'd be like Ratatouille, right? And then
Yeah.
I was like, next time when we talk about next time when we go on and we talk about Sea of Thieves, I could do the Sea of Thieves character. So shoot,
Yeah.
that's a missed opportunity right there. Oh
That's okay.
man.
You can see my rat in the background.
Yep, you can still see it just a little bit. Let's see here. Let me see here. So let me see. Himbo says big same on the zucchini. And then
Yeah,
let me see here.
we talk food a lot. Spooky is one of my oldest friends.
I love that.
I met him at a friend's graduation party. That friend was
Really?
like a year older than us, and like it was funny because like I don't think I even like recognized him until I met him like a year or so later. And we've lived together, partied together, stopped partying together. And we play video games together
Nice.
almost every day.
I like
So
that. I
he's
like that a lot. Lifelong friend. I love that.
yeah, yeah.
Let's see here. See here. Mama Wolf says my favorite is romaine, purple cabbage, and shredded carrots. That's her favorite kind of salad. Let's
Yes.
see.
Oh, I absolutely love salads. Salads are probably one of my favorite things ever, always. And I love every salad.
Salads are very good. I love like a really good like chicken salad. A chicken salad's
Oh,
amazing. Just a salad,
yes.
by itself, right? Because you can have a fruit salad. You can have a salad with you can have cucumbers, carrots, the cabbage. Again, like Mama Wolf said, like the what do you call it? The what'd she say? One second. The purple cabbage, like the purple cabbage or just anything, right? So you can have like pretty much like a normal like vegetable salad, you have a fruit salad, you can have a chicken salad, all that kind of stuff. So I mean, salads are like widely customizable, and they're
Yeah.
amazing. They're really good. I love a good salad. Definitely love a good salad.
My favorite salad is, just like whatever kind of lettuce you want, really doesn't matter. Maybe romaine and arugula for a little bit of a peppery kick. Um, I like to do quinoa, like
Okay.
fresh steamed quinoa. Um, Pine nuts, goat cheese, red onions, dried cranberries, and
Ooh,
champagne vinaigrette. Champagne vinaigrette is my favorite. Oh, there's my brother-in-law.
we getting fancy out here. We getting
Yeah.
fancy out here. Golly. Charles, welcome in. Hello. Hello, hello. Thank you guys so much for joining the live. I appreciate you. Welcome in. Welcome. It's good to see you guys. Let's see. Let me see. So, yes, Sister Salt. Welcome in. Welcome in. Welcome in. Let me see. Viking says, good answer. I dislike it to be honest, but I love me some mushrooms on mine. Mushrooms, yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Mm.
Said Sydney says, ew, olives. Olives are weird for me. I mean, hey, to each their own. To each their own, man. That's again, that's why. Pizzas, salads, whatever it is, widely customizable, Something that goes on someone's pizza might not go on somebody else's pizza, but we can both enjoy pizza
Yep.
together. You know what I mean? You can customize it together. You know what I'm saying?
That's what
Um,
personal pizzas are for.
mhm. Absolutely. Absolutely. Like the little takeaway box too. You know what I'm saying? You keep your pizza over there, man. Nah, I'm gonna keep mine right here. I don't want no pineapple on mine. I don't want no
Don't
mushrooms on mine.
don't let them touch.
um, yes, roasted artichokes, like artichoke hearts. Oh
Ooh,
my god. Oh dude, Mama Wolf and I have loved artichoke hearts forever. We've loved them forever, and now Mama Wolf has been making them more and more. And next to chicken, next to I don't care. I'll eat them. I'll eat them by themselves. They're amazing. They're so good. They're so freaking good. Let me see here. Also, Turtle, by the way, welcome in. How you doing, Turtle? It's good to see you. Welcome, welcome. Welcome in, welcome in. Alrighty, let me see. Spooky also says you also help me navigate my food allergies. That's very important.
Yeah,
That is
that's
definitely
something
very
that we're
important.
working on. Yeah. I owe him some recipes. He has me working on a corn tortilla recipe that doesn't use
Ooh,
any corn,
okay.
and that's been a bit of a challenge. I need to find something that kind of emulates that flavor without the corn, and that's harder than it sounds.
So I'm going to probably make this not sound good at all. Mama Wolf is gonna have to explain this, but Mama Wolf, I promise you, you're probably gonna like when you hear this, you're gonna be like, no, okay. But Mama Wolf has basically through a tutorial. So I don't know the name of the person, but shout out to the person that came up with this. A way to basically make a healthier pizza dough. Okay. So in order to
Uh-huh.
make a healthier pizza dough, you basically use you essentially use yogurt. And I like you would think you'd be like there's no way, right? There's no way you're going to taste the yogurt. It's not going to be right. I promise you. Listen, as somebody who has eaten pizza their entire life, as somebody who loves pizza so much, as somebody who loves like straight up pizza dough, I can't tell.
Uh-huh.
I can't tell, bro.
Yeah, I mean,
It
we all love naan, we all love parathas, we all love like any of those Indian like table breads.
mhm.
Those are made yogurt and dough. Like you literally can't tell. Like it just tastes amazing. Like you wouldn't guess it just by tasting it.
Yeah, it's insane like how many different ways you can actually make things, right? It's
Mhm.
insane how many different ways you can actually make things, how you can alter different recipes, and it's definitely crazy, you know? Like again, just the I mean, we're talking about pizza or like salads, but just cooking in general, the ridiculous amount of customization is it's insane. It really is
Yep.
because you can literally take a traditional like chicken dish and you can fully customize it to how you want that to be, right? It's not the
Mhm.
original recipe, but now you can enjoy it the way you like it, right? And that's fantastic. I love that everybody can have their own type of food however they want it. You know, you can make it exactly how you want it. If you like a fruit salad, you can have a fruit salad. If somebody prefers just a normal salad, they can have a normal salad. If somebody prefers a chicken salad, they can have that. I love that. I do really like that. It includes everybody, and
Yeah.
I do love that.
That's
Let me
one of my
see.
favorite things about food is there's something for everyone, and if you can make someone feel that like comfort, that security of having a good meal. It, I always used to say that if I can get the people that I'm feeding to take my food for granted, then I've done my job correctly. If they don't have to worry about food, then I'm doing everything that I've ever wanted to do.
I like that. I like that a lot. Providing good food and filling some bellies and making some smiles. I like that. I really
Yeah.
like that a lot. That's very sweet. Let me see here. Let me see. Let me see. Let me see. Mm-mm. Viking says he's about to start making his own dough. Let's go. How are you gonna go about making your own dough? Do tell. Do tell. Do tell. Unless it's a secret. But if it's not a secret, do tell. Uh.
Homemade dough is a game changer.
Oh yeah.
Whether it's the crust for your pie or the crust for your chicken pot pie or your own pasta. It's it's just so much better.
Making things at
It's
home is just
unbelievably better.
oh yeah, making things at home is just incredible. It really is.
Yeah.
And I've learned how fun it is too. It's so fun to
Mhm.
just like be in the kitchen and be like, okay, this is how you. I never knew this is how you cut this, but okay, this is how you cut this, and this is how you arrange this, and this is how you put this together. This is how you make a dish look the way it does, out of like a commercial or something like that. Like it's amazing to
Mhm.
actually do it. Like you kind of like don't realize how fun and how awesome cooking is until you start doing it. And you're like, wow, this is freaking awesome. You're like, this is really cool. So it's
Yeah.
something, it's been really fun to be able to kind of learn what it's like to what it's like to cook. I'm very like minimal. I do like a very minimal amount of cooking so far. I wanna up that, but it has been really cool to learn how to do some cooking and how to actually understand why it is so fun because I'm doing it myself also. I like it. I like that a
Yeah.
lot. Uh,
Spooky, are you talking about the pancakes made with um uh applesauce instead of egg?
with applesauce.
Yeah. It's I don't know if that's what
Interesting.
he's talking about, but it's fire. It's so good.
Interesting. It's fire, dude. It's
It's
gas. Let me
it's
tell
so
you,
good.
bro. It's
Fucking
freaking
gasoline,
yeah,
dude.
dude. Applesauce or cottage
Oh, cottage cheese.
cheese.
See, I would
Ooh.
love that for I'm not big on sweets, so like a
Mm.
savory
Oh
cottage
yeah.
cheese pancake
Oh yeah.
sounds fucking
Absolutely. Yeah, absolutely. No, definitely. Definitely, definitely. Let me see here. Said Haley says Nick says pizza with chicken and white sauce and double bacon. Yes. Yes. Golly, that sounds like a amazing pizza. Let's see here. So this is the recipe, kind of, I think. Um, so Mumble Wolf says, I found a guy who did flour, Greek yogurt, and baking powder. I added some salt, pepper, parm, and Italian seasoning, and made a pizza and pizza pot pies. Yeah, she made like
Ooh.
little like handheld pizzas. And
Oh
I
my
and
gosh.
I ate it and it like I promise you too, like a year ago, or no, maybe like 2 years ago, I'd have been like yogurt pizza. Ugh. No, listen, I tried it and I was like, dude, where did like what type of magic did you use to make this? I'm like, I can't tell at all. This is literally pizza. It's insane. It's really
Yeah.
insane. Let me
I
see.
once made cookies out of beans and they were delicious.
What? How do you
Yeah,
do
you could
that?
barely you could ba so I kind of boiled, steamed the beans, and then you gotta like dry them out and then mush them, and that's like the base for your dough.
Oh
Um,
my god.
yeah, it's been so long I can't remember the recipe. I honestly just prefer cup for cup flour, because it's gluten free and you cannot tell it's absolutely delicious and it works in literally every application of bread. Like, yeah, it's delicious. We had brownies today made from cup for cup.
Whew.
Just like excess
I love me some
leftover
brownies.
brownies from our pastry people. And they'll bring over just like all the excess stuff that they make and oh my god. I had brownies with vanilla pudding, homemade from scratch vanilla pudding, and I had it was malted fudge ice cream, homemade, completely homemade, and I just about died. Um, and then we had the homemade chicken pot pie that we're working on for this season's menu, and it is the work that goes into those pot pies is insane. Every single step smells amazing. And when it all comes out in the end, it's just so perfect. It's flaky, it's savory, it's got this little sweetness to it, it's got this umami, and yeah. Oh god. So good.
That's another thing I will say too. Being able to catch a whiff of whatever someone's cooking. Like I was at physical therapy the other day and they were having a barbecue. They were having like there's like this like barbecue hut next door and they normally keep the back door open, right? To get some extra like circulation, right? Get some extra, good airflow.
Yeah.
And
Like a good barbecue airflow.
yes. Yeah, when I tell you that whole freaking physical therapy room, that whole gym just smelled like steaks. Smelled like steaks, ribs, and you could smell the seasoning in the air. I was like, "Woo!" I'm like, "This is some good stuff." I was like, "This is some really good stuff." But no, like, oh man, when my mom is cooking, like, oh, dude, my mom's been cooking like, she's had tri-tip, she's had there's been different like she's made like different cobblers and pies before, all this different kind of stuff. And when you catch that whiff like through the vent. I'm a
Yeah.
whole, room down, and I'm like, what is my mama cooking? I'm like, golly, I gotta go check this out now because that smells amazing.
Like
Yeah.
those cartoons where
Yep, you just start lifting
the
off the
scent of
floor and you're
it
like, you're
pulls
just
you, you're
following the
like,
scent. Yep,
lifts you up and
absolutely.
slides you to the kitchen.
Yep, absolutely. In straight cartoon fashion, absolutely. Now, so my next question for you, I appreciate the conversation so far. Thank you very much. I appreciate these recipes. I appreciate everything we've talked about so far. Thank you very much.
Yeah,
Thank you.
having a great time.
Uh, so my second question that I got for you is, did you face any hardships in the beginning steps of your passion to be a chef? In the beginning, specifically.
Yeah. Um, so I started out in just this awful pizza kitchen in San Francisco. And when I say awful, I mean awful, but also amazing.
Mhm.
Uh, for some reason, we did everything from scratch. So it was just absolutely delicious. But also, management was non existent. It was a
Mm,
lawless land. Just the craziest shit happened.
mhm.
And it was fun. It was stressful. Um, but that was kind of like my first taste of like the competitivity
Mm,
of a kitchen, which is something that I've continued to experience moving forward. Um, and I've been fortunate enough to like pick out kitchens that they don't have a lot of those things. Like the executive chef wants to create a different sort of culture, and try and spread this better culture into the world. Um, but I'm not always so lucky. Not everyone's always that lucky, and sometimes you just get into kitchens that are really toxic. Like you have the types of
yeah.
chefs that yell at you. I personally, after like my first chef who like kind of just taught me everything, like he actually had the patience to teach me everything when I had no business being in fine dining, but there I was. Um, the chef that wound up taking over for him was awful and very sexist
Damn.
and just kind of like tried to force me out of that kitchen, which is really unfortunate because it was just such an amazing situation that I'd found myself in. And he
Mhm.
very quickly turned that into complete bullshit. Um, and yeah, so that was awful, but it was also a really big learning experience to me. And I've been very careful with the kitchens that I choose. Like I remember a couple years after that, after I'd moved to Missouri, and I was interviewing at this fine dining restaurant that was actually opening up in the bar that was in the movie Gone Girl, on the
Oh,
Mississippi.
really?
And in the interview, like, first of all the guys got separate interviews, but then he had me and two other women. They were interviewing to be servers. I was interviewing to be a chef there. He had us do a group interview, and it was a joke of an interview. And at the end, he spent like forever explaining that like he's only gonna hire one of us because women are too competitive with each other or something, and he needs us to stay focused. And I just called him out for being sexist, like in the interview before before leaving, and like none of us wound up working there. It was ridiculous, absolutely ridiculous.
Jeez. I
Yeah.
Man, I'm sorry you had to go through that. There's been a saying that I've heard for years, like before I started working in retail and once I started working in retail, people their saying is people don't quit jobs, they quit managers. And it's so true because honestly, realistically at the end of the day, did I like my job? No, right? Like I was walking like crazy. I was lifting a lot of heavy stuff all day. I had to be very careful with customers around and a lot of customers like sometimes they look at you hauling like a multi-100-pound pallet, and they just look at you like a deer caught in the headlights. I'm like, dude, I gotta go past you. And they're like, oh. And I'm like, and I can't even tell you how many times that would happen in a day. I'm like, I gotta move, dude. My manager is on my rear. Like, I gotta go, you know? And it's
Mhm.
like, it's like just kind of like the environment of it, right? Because I had some really rude customers, but I also had some really nice customers that like they not nice to me as like a worker, but nice to me, right? And I was like, wow, you know. So I
Mhm.
definitely saw like the whole, you know, scale of that. But um the like the job itself, even as physically demanding as it was, I probably would have kept doing if I had better management, right? I did not
Yeah.
quit the job because I like hated the job itself. I could not stand the management because the management quite literally let me know that I was replaceable. They like and one experience, not to take away from what we're talking about, but one experience was my manager. I'd switched to a new department, and my manager pulled me into the office and like on some like 007 like secret mission type stuff. Like he was like really like, hey, hey, come here, and he like pulled me into the office. And I'm like, yeah, what's up? Like, you got my attention. Like, what's up? What's going on? And he was like, hey, I just want to let you know you're doing a really good job, and you know it's like
Mhm.
getting crazy hours out there. You know, customers are going crazy, and like, you know, I need you. Like, I really need you. Like, so you're doing good. I need you to keep going. What we're gonna do is we're gonna give you a pay increase. And I'm like gassed. I'm like, he
What?
pulled me into the office. I'm like, let's go. I was like, dude, this is like a one-on-one with the big man, the boss, right? And
That's
he was
so
like, you're
great.
doing so good, all this kind of stuff, right? I walk out, ear to ear grin, and then I watch as 8 other employees go in and walk out with a check. And I was like, oh wow. So
Mhm.
the whole like him bringing me in there and hyping me up, gassing me up, it was just a pep talk. I
Yeah.
I got the exact same raise as everybody else. I got the exact
Uh,
same raise as everybody, even the people that barely
that's
lifted a
so
finger, and I was like,
gross to spin it that
"Wow."
way, like, to make it seem like that's something they're giving you as, like, a reward when it's like, "No, we have to give everyone this." Like, ugh,
Mhm.
I hate that. I hate
Yeah.
that so much. Yeah.
Yeah, I was
I
like, dude. So like as physically demanding as the job was, I would have stayed if it wasn't for the managers, right?
yeah.
So I definitely hear you, and absolutely. I mean, is it the chance of not getting a position? Yeah, but also is that a position that you want? You know, so it's like call it out. Call it out. Dude, you're being unfair. Like call it out. Say it how it is. Absolutely. I definitely get that, and I wouldn't stand for that. So I'm glad that you
Yeah.
said something, and I'm glad that you found something better too. But I'm
Yeah.
also
That
glad that I'm sorry, I'm talking a lot, my bad.
okay.
I'm also really happy that in your first experience, as crazy as it was, you also did have a chef that kind of took you under his wing, taught you stuff, was patient with you, and helped you learn to show you what a really good chef is gonna do, right? And
Yes.
then
Mhm.
unfortunately after that you did get to see what an impatient, you know, not as nice chef is, but you did
Yeah.
get that good experience first, and I'm really happy that, I mean, now that was probably years ago, right? You still have that experience and you're able to talk about it now, right? So that
Yeah.
impacted you. That really impacted you, and it left an impression on you. That's another thing my job told me as well. Is our first day. It was our first day. Like we hadn't done, so we had to go to the back room. We had to go onto the computers, and we had to basically like just watch videos on like safety and right, just had to do all that, and then we had to like, you know, do multiple choice questionnaires and that kind of stuff. But our first day they took us like all throughout the store, the back rooms, the freezer rooms, all that, and they basically showed us all kinds of stuff. They showed us this is where it's located, this is how you get here, this is typically who's going to be around this area, right? And then, you know, like that kind of stuff. And on my first day, I forget his name. I'm blanking, and I feel really bad. I'm blanking on his name. But the guy that was kind of like ushering us into, the job, who was running this kind of like, working interview, displaying what it was like and what the job was going to be like. He said something that has stuck with me the whole time. And he said,
Mhm.
whenever you see a customer, right? Always greet them with positivity. Always greet them with positivity, because you never know if you are the first person they're seeing in the day or the last person you're seeing in the day. And I don't want to turn this grim, but you could also look at that as the last person they're ever going to see, because we're never guaranteed another moment of our life. And you could be rude to somebody and then they get in their car, they drive away, and they get in an accident, you know? So it's like
Uh-huh.
that is one thing that always stuck with me from the moment I started working, from day one until all the way until now. It made such a huge impact on me. The guy said, whether it doesn't matter, how you're feeling, any of that, right? Whenever you see someone, you greet them with positivity and you try to go out of your way to be positive and help someone, right? Because you never know if you are the first person they're seeing in the day or the last person they're seeing in the day. And I was like, wow, So
Mhm.
even as horrible as those managers were and how horribly they treated me, I will always remember that guy that said that. Um, again,
Yeah.
I forgot his name, but it made such an impact on me that I'm still talking about it 5 years later.
Yeah.
So or
Treat everyone with love, 'cause
4 years
you never
later.
know who's gonna need it.
Mm-hmm. Absolutely. So yeah, I like that. Thank you for explaining that experience.
Yeah.
I appreciate that, and
Uh,
thank you for letting
that
me explain my
that
experience too. Thank you.
yeah, I appreciate you sharing. That bad chef is definitely who I quit. Uh,
Mhm.
I mean, I guess I quit some of them some other management, because, like, when I tried to raise my issues, it was all just kinda turned back on me. So, in a way, I did quit Newport Academy. For the most part, I quit the management there, but I I loved that job, and, it wasn't the girls there that I quit, it wasn't the work there that I quit, um, because all of that was just amazing. It was perfect, you know? I was doing everything that made me happy about cooking, and, yeah, so I definitely quit those managers.
And it's unfortunate that that has like even become a saying, right?
Yeah.
It's unfortunate that that's even become a saying, and that's something that is just so widely understood that managers
Mhm.
just do that to people. Not all
Yeah.
of them, but so many, to the point where it's just like, you quitting because of the job or the managers? The managers, yeah. See, like
Yeah.
it's crazy, but I mean, it's something that we can learn from, and if we are ever put in a position of management, we've been through that and we know not to do that to others, right? So
Yeah.
always definitely extend the kindness, extend the love, try to go the extra mile. 100%, absolutely.
Mhm.
Um,
And I mean, that was always stuff that my first chef talked about and wanted to teach me, and that was the culture that he wanted to try and, seed into the culinary world as he moved through it, and it's something that I've been trying to do as I move through it as well. And I shared his Instagram in chat there at
oh,
it's
sweet.
underscore
Awesome.
Chef Travis.
Awesome.
And he's absolutely amazing. Unfortunately, his original Instagram got hacked,
Oh,
so
what?
there's not too much on his current Instagram. Um, but he's hands down the most amazing man I've ever met.
I love that. I
Yeah.
really like that. Let me see a couple messages that I missed. Mom Wolf is agreeing about the applesauce. Mom Wolf says applesauce is great for baking and cottage cheese cookie dough. Yeah, that's another one that I've tried. The cottage cheese cookie dough. Never
Mhm.
would have thought, but no, it's amazing. It's really good. It's really really good. Viking says, I never thought I'd want this in a house, but I'm gonna need a big kitchen when I buy a house. I love that. I love that, man. That's something. That's another thing. Like, I'm very new to cooking. Like, I'm barely getting into it, right? But that it's
Mhm.
like being in the kitchen and like knowing where like the spice rack is and like where you keep your knives and where you keep your all your different kind of stuff, right? It's just like when you're in a kitchen, it doesn't matter if you're like what you're cooking. There's just this like feeling of enjoyment. There's this feeling of like I'm about to make something. You could be going to make a bowl of cereal. It doesn't matter. Like you just don't you get kind of like hyped up like just being in a kitchen. You're like, dude, this is sick. Like I don't know what it is, but I get
Yeah.
definitely get
Like
excited.
sometimes I'll
Oh,
I'll
snap.
go into the kitchen with like a plan
Thank you very much, Mama
to.
Wolf. She has
Oh,
she has brought me a is this a ham salad? Oh my goodness. I
Mama.
I think this is I
Oh
think
my
this is
gosh.
that's a
That looks
look at
so good.
this. Look at that. Oh my word.
We're gonna need to bring Mama back here to explain her dish.
Yeah, chef, 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 can
Chef,
we chef, can we get the chef back, please? We need the chef back in the kitchen, please. Can you come down to the this area where can we learn about this? Mama Wolf, come back. Come back to us.
turkey.
Let's see here.
We
It's
we chef.
turkey. Okay. Okay. It's turkey. This looks amazing. Um, I'm not gonna eat this right now because I don't want to be like as we're talking about as we're talking here. But so yeah, chef, can you please explain your dish?
Okay, so I did just simple romaine with the purple cabbage and the shredded carrots because I always like
Yes.
to have a salad sometime during lunchtime if I can, and then I'll make some veggies time. But then I actually took some of the turkey meat that we have, lunch meat, and I always buy the nitrate, and then I sliced it up to put some ranch dressing. So very simple,
Yum.
not as fancy recipe.
Yes,
Okay,
we're gonna need some recipes.
any salad is the perfect salad. I absolutely love salads.
Thank you.
Even simple salads. Sometimes, most of the time, I just have a bag of like romaine lettuce or a bag of
Mhm.
like iceberg or like a thing of spring mix and like I'll eat it plain. I'll eat it with like
Listen,
a
the
little bit of
the
Italian dressing. Like
the
salad is good.
containers of spring mix that we have cleared out. We have oh my goodness, I can't even tell you how many containers of spring mix we bought and just decimated.
Yeah.
So many, so many. Let's see here. So Sydney says, one of the last retail jobs I had ended poorly with managers. Said I was having issues one day with car troubles and called plenty of time ahead saying I'll be there but late because I'm waiting for a tow. They said it was fine over the phone. And then the next day I'm getting penalized and talked to about the problems of accumulating these points fast. Oh, that's messed up. That's messed up. That's so messed up. I remember when I started working, like when I started taking out orders, because I used to like just I would like stock shelves, right? I just would get the products and just put them on the shelves. But I
Mhm.
when I started taking products out, like I started like batching orders together and like taking orders out to customers' cars. There was one customer that filed a complaint about me and said I didn't look happy. And
Oh.
I was like, my man, it is 103 degrees outside. Uh, no one's working. I'm the only one doing stuff. I'm sorry that I don't have an ear to ear grin on my face, but I got like scolded about that, and I was
Mhm.
told that I wasn't in trouble. But even the mere fact that that was like brought to my attention, I was like, dude,
Yeah, that's
now
like
now now my
the
whole day's
retail
ruined. I'm like, are you kidding me? I'm like,
that's the
bro,
retail equivalent of a stranger telling you to smile more.
Yeah, yeah,
Things like that.
exactly. Exactly.
If there's any strangers out there, fucking stop.
Like, like, bro, like I just it completely threw me for a loop. I was like, really? Like did not need this right now. I'm dripping buckets. Like my muscles are sore. I don't need that. I definitely don't need that. But that just made it better. And I also remember oh man, I'm not gonna say his name, but I had a manager that resembled that of a bulldog. Like quite literally, if a bulldog took human form, that was him. That was him. He was very short and snappy. He was very like aggravated, like all the time, right? And he was like always acting like the big dog, like oh, we're about to go to war, and like we're about to, like we about to kill it in the back room, and we're about to go crazy. Like he had like this crazy energy to him, right? And I always tried to like be, yes, chef, right? Like I always tried to make sure, like,
Uh-huh.
I'm making sure that I'm doing what I'm supposed to do, all this kind of stuff. And there was a time that came where I was having complications at home and I needed to get a specific day off. I had asked him like 4 days in advance. Well, I put in the request like 2 weeks earlier, right? And then I asked him like 4 days in advance. I said, "Hey man, I really need this. I really need this day off. I got this, so and so going on at home." And he was like, "Oh, okay, okay, okay. Talk to me about this later. Whatever, right?" Like we literally just got done. We would always say we killed the truck, right? The truck would come in, it would, basically like park, and we'd hook it up. And then there could be like a 1500 day. A 1500 day is 1500 piece, the 1500 boxes, or like a 2K day, 3K day, whatever, right? Normally we had really stacked days, so we'd have like 2500s, 3Ks, right? But we just got done killing a truck, so we took out the whole truck. We got all the product in the back room, we were good, so everybody was gassed up. We're like, it's done, it's good. Now all we got to do is bring it to the floor. And I said, hey, I really, I need to talk to you about this. I need to get this, this day off. And he's like, okay, talk to me about this afterwards. So we start taking out pallets. We start, getting stuff on the shelves. And then I'm like, okay, the job's done. Let me go ask him. And I pull him aside and I say, hey man, I said, hey, about this day. And he just completely just like rolls his eyes in the back of his head, looks down, and he's just like, all right, listen, this is the last time I'm doing this for you. It was the first time he had ever done it. Was the first time I ever came to him about this. This is the last time I'm doing this for you. And he said, I can't get you out of these occurrences. Occurrences where I would get occurrences on my record if I took time off, if I didn't have PTO, but I did have PTO to cover it, and I got like verbal consent from the manager that I could take the day off, and then I got full occurrences for that day. And I was like, no. I was like, no, man. So that manager, along with other managers, was just made me like, I'm done. Like I'm out of here, bro. But Sydney, I'm really sorry about that, and I'm glad you got out of there. I'm glad you got out of there. I'm glad you didn't have to deal with that anymore. But that's just sucky, man. Like
Yeah.
just why do you gotta act like that? You know what I mean? Like you called ahead of time, like hours prior, you let them know the situation, and then they're just like, yeah, there's gonna be this issue all of a sudden, and you're like, how? I told you about this. Like we talked about this. Everything's good. And they're like, no, there's about to be a problem. And it's so true. People don't quit jobs. They quit managers. Managers treat people like garbage. Not all of them, but a lot of them. And it's like, it's so unfortunate, man, because the turnover rate at my old job was so freaking high. We had people that would get hired and they would leave that day because of how trash the managers would treat them. Like,
Mhm.
is insane. It's insane. That's just how so many businesses are like run. Or at least that's allowed. It's so crazy. It's so crazy. Um Sydney also says this. Yeah, the store manager made you cry when he talked to you about it. So I explained what happened in person and why I didn't have paper proof, and he let the convo say, "Well, you need to get it together." I left shortly after. Yeah, get out of there. Get out of there. No, ain't no
Yeah,
way.
it's 2023. We don't work
Mm-mm.
places that don't make us happy.
Right.
We're
No,
not
we're not.
desperate.
Yeah, we're not about to do that. We are not about to do that. Mm-mm. No, 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 no. Spooky says, yeah, I got the customers to spend 1.3K on puppy supplies, tripling the quota for the day. Oh, snap. Oh,
And he got in
snap.
trouble for providing too much service.
Wow.
Yeah.
Nice. Nice. Good job. Good job, managers. Thanks. Appreciate that. I'm doing a really good job, and I'm getting barked at. Love that. I love that. Um, Sydney says that's such a weird write up. Said we want you in trouble, so here's something we made up. Yeah, like I don't know. That's ridiculous. That's really ridiculous. Stidge, we have a culinary student here, or former culinary student. Hello. Welcome in. How you
Hello,
doing,
Chad.
Stidge? It's good to see you,
I
my man.
I once worked somewhere. I got told that I was elevating the bar too high because it
I almost spit out my water. That's new. There's no way.
yeah. So like
Hey, listen,
that
you're
place
doing your
doesn't.
job too good that you're making us look
Yeah.
bad. That's
They're like
insane.
the food isn't supposed to be this good. Like oh my God, I have so many
That's
complaints about that place.
oh, that's
But I was
insane.
literally told that I was doing too much when it came to the food.
Listen,
Like
Mesa, these biscuits are
yeah.
supposed to be like rocks. Get it together.
Yeah.
Like what? That's insane. That's
Which
actually
like
insane.
I can kind of understand. Like they're like, okay, hey, like everything that you make, you're doing all these like things that other people don't know that's making it like better. And the other people can't do that and we can't train them to do that. Like so we need you to stop doing that. Like but that's just it's so ridiculous. Like I get it, but it's so ridiculous. Like okay, let's train everyone to do it then.
Right. Absolutely. Um, so I'm really curious about this one. After years of cooking and working inside many different kitchens, what have you found are the 3 to 5 most important rules?
Personally, my top rule is being humble,
I love
like
that. I love
no
that.
matter what. I think that that just makes the job so much easier because you don't have to worry about yourself.
Right.
And if you're not worrying about other people, then it lightens the load on you. Um, and it just leaves so much more room for learning and getting better, challenging yourself. Um, so staying humble, number one. Communication, number two.
Big,
Uh,
big on
yeah,
communication.
when you don't have communication, that's when things become disorganized. That's when things get tense. That's when a rush turns into that's when you find yourself in the weeds. Like that's when you need help. That's when a job that one person can handle becomes a job that three people can't handle. Um, and as funny as it sounds, like having a good understanding of why we say yes, chef, um, and like an extension of that, like all of our call outs in the kitchen. Um, it again, it loops back to being humble. You're it's not like a yes sir, you have full control over me. It's a trust thing. I'm not going to give you some nonsense. I'm not going to try to explain things. I'm not going to waste anyone's time. Like you tell me to do something and I'm going to do it. So when I say yes chef, you can trust me, and I know that I can trust you to let me do my job. um
There has to be an agreement between both of you,
Yeah.
between both trusts from both parties. You
Hmm.
have to be able to trust the command they're giving you, but also they have to trust that you are receiving it and you're going to do it to the best of your abilities as well, which is really
Yeah.
important. And I love that you put being humble first. I do love that. Dropping everything, and like you said at the very beginning of this too, how you like go into each day, you like drop yourself at the door and you just fully go into being humble for the day.
Hmm.
Like I love that. I love that and I
Yeah.
respect that so much because oftentimes we get so caught up in our own worlds and what's happening with us that for a day or maybe for a lifetime wherever you're at, you may feel like the main character until you run into the main character. You know what I'm saying? Like you
Yeah.
have to humble yourself and you have to like completely drop everything that's going on in your life, and you have to be at a place of you know you got to
Yeah.
serve. You
I
got to serve
to
your
me.
time, your love. You got to be there
Mhm.
for others, right? And of course, there's absolutely a time you do not want to forget yourself. This is very important. Don't forget yourself. It is very important for you also to receive love, to receive respect, to be heard 100%. But
Yes.
also, there's a time and a place for that, you know? So
Yeah.
I like that.
To me, it doesn't matter who it is that's telling me, like, hey, do this, or hey, you did this wrong, or can you do this differently in the future? I don't care who it is. I'm gonna say yes, chef, and I'm gonna take what they said to heart. You know, like that's someone telling me that they're seeing something that needs to be done. Like I don't care if they're above, below, or in a different department. Like, and whether or not they're a chef, like I call everyone chef because it's a sign of respect for me and my career, my culture, like my work culture. Um, so if I call someone chef, it's out of respect.
The first time you called me chef also, I think it was one time in the stream. I think I was playing Sea of Thieves. I was playing I might have been Sea of Thieves. It might have been something else. I don't remember exactly. But I remember I asked you a question. I said, "Hey Mesa," and you said, "Yes, chef." And I just immediately when I read that message in the chat, I was like, "Yeah!" I started geeking. I was like, "Let's go!" Like I felt heard. I was like, oh my gosh. I was like, okay, I forgot even what I was
Mhm.
gonna ask you. That's awesome. Like, yes, chef. Like it made me feel really dope. So I
Yep.
appreciate that. I like that. I like that you're talking about being humble. I like that you're putting people before yourself also. I like that a reason in doing all of this is to see others smile and to make sure people are fed well, you know in order to constantly learn something new and to respect others and communicate. Like that is so freaking admirable. Can we get some applause in the chat for
Oh.
Salt, please? Like I respect you so much. That is very admirable. I love that.
Mhm.
I love that. Do we have any questions? Do we have any questions for Salt by chance? Do you guys have any questions? If you do, again,
Susie
oh,
said, talk about your favorite cultural foods to eat and your favorites
ooh,
to make. To which I say, yes, chef.
yes,
Um,
chef. I love it.
I absolutely love Indian, um, Thai food,
Oh yeah.
Greek food. I guess Mediterranean is like a generalization. And I love to eat like all kinds of Asian food. I really like Korean. I don't know much about cooking Korean, unfortunately, but Indian food is absolutely delicious.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that to me, it's because it's so vegetable focused. A lot of their dishes won't even have meat in them. Um, and it's all about just like the use of like spices and cooking methods to bring out the most flavor in those vegetables or the starches. And so like at home, those are my easy dishes are Indian food for the most part. Um, and sometimes Thai food, depending on my mood. Because it's just I love spices. I love all the flavors. I love the heat that you can get. Um, and just all of the veggies.
Do you like really like crazy spicy stuff? Like would you ever like if you ever got the opportunity to be on like Hot Ones with Sean Evans, like would you do that and have like the
Oh yeah.
insane like the bomb hot sauce and like you like heat like hot
Yeah,
high
I
Scoville
think
unit?
the current Da Bomb is like Carolina Reaper status,
Mhm.
and I've eaten those no problem. I mean,
There's
I was crying.
dude.
I was crying, but I was able to like hold a conversation and like not be like suffering. Like the only effect was like I just had tears streaming down my face.
Oh, dude, that's gotta clear out your
Um,
sinuses like so well too. Like
yes,
like
and it
like
and it
you're
and
like
it's so good for your
nose.
serotonin.
Yeah, like
It's so like
ooh.
as someone with like just constant depression, when I need like a boost of serotonin, a fucking hot pepper will set me up for the day. It's amazing.
Do you also think maybe it's a is it like maybe a little bit of that like fight or flight also? Like your body is like we're on fire, we're dying. Like you can't
Maybe.
think about
I
anything else. Like you're just like
Yeah.
you gotta cool off, and then you like completely forget like what you were like upset about.
I mean,
Like,
it doesn't distract me like that, but like it does give you a rush of, I don't know, endorphins, I guess.
hmm
Some people will get like adrenaline. Um, but like on days where like I'm just feeling exhausted and like I don't have like the serotonin to do stuff, a hot pepper and 5 minutes of suffering, and like I'm freaking to the moon. I'm ecstatic. I'm running around. I'm dancing while I'm cooking.
oh, dancing with cooking is so fun. It's so
Oh yeah.
fun. But let me tell you what your ability to take on high levels of capsaicin is way higher than mine.
I really want to
Way
try
higher
Pepper
than
X.
mine.
I really want to try
Uh,
Pepper X. I was watching uh on Hot Ones when they were giving the Guinness World Record to the guy that made Pepper X to like prove to everyone like he did do it, like he's not a liar. Like uh Guinness Book of World Records did their own research, and it is in fact the hottest pepper in the world. And then they ended it by all of them eating one.
oh
And like everyone's saying
no.
like no, Pepper X was spicy enough it will kill you. Like no, they ate it, they didn't die. I want to eat one.
Jeez. Oh my god. Why though? I respect the like the wanting the challenge. Oh my god, but I could not. I'll cheer
What
you
doesn't
on.
kill you
I'll,
makes
I'll
you
cheer. I
stronger.
like let's go Mesa, but I
Kelly
can't.
Clarkson had it correct. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger.
I
Shout out to
love
Kelly
it.
Clarkson.
I love that. I love that. Stidge says I had a chef threaten to curb stomp me for placing a garnish 1 millimeter
read
too
that.
close to the rim of the plate.
Yeah, fuck chefs like that. I
Excuse you? Like,
that
homie actually threatened your life because you didn't do something the way he would have done it? Um,
Yeah, absolutely not. That is not how you teach people. That's not how you inspire people. No.
mm-mm, absolutely not. Let me see. Stidge says, Indian cuisine is the only thing that I don't even miss the meat if it's vegan. Because
Mhm.
you were saying it's very like vegetable based. And
Yes.
do they like is there a lot of also like steaming the vegetables? Like steaming the
Yeah.
vegetables, all that?
Steaming, sautéing,
Oh,
stewing, like
nice.
all
Very
that kind of stuff.
nice.
Like I one of my easy meals is I make kind of my version of dal here at home, which is essentially just you cook the shit out of some lentils till
Mm,
they're like soft enough to be blended. And you do that with a bunch of spices, and then you would make like it's almost like making chili oil where you throw in like some other spices and like peppers and some herbs and some like veggies into a hot oil and then add it to it and mix it in. But I just use Chinese chili oil that I have. So I'm not always like going out for groceries or something. and it's so good. And then you just throw some rice in there with it, and you've got a complete protein.
I like that.
And you don't need meat, um, like health wise. Of course, you could throw meat in there too and make it even better. But it's just so easy to do, and I do it in a little tiny rice cooker.
I like that. I like that a lot.
Hmm.
Um, Sydney says, what are your future goals in the culinary field, if that hasn't been asked already? And
Um,
no, you're good. You're good. You're good. That has not been asked yet. What would be a like a future goal you have?
so back when I was working at Newport Academy in California, um, there was a while where we were getting a lot of chefs hired through Paired, and one of them, he was a dual citizen, American and Spain, and he was telling me about how during the summer he comes to America. Wait, during the summer, during the winter he comes to America, and he works through Paired, and he just like saves up as much money as he can, um, doing that, and then during the summer he goes back to Spain, where he opens his restaurant on the beach.
On the
Um,
beach too, huh?
something soul. Um, can't remember exactly, but I kind of have an idea of where it is. Um, and it's just like, it doesn't cost him that much to run. It's very cheap out there. But he serves like Californian, Spain fusion. And his entire goal, which he's been doing this for like over 10 years, his entire thing is to go make the money in California to be able to open his restaurant and provide jobs for people that he's employed for over 10 years. And he doesn't care about making money off this restaurant so long as he breaks even and he's able to afford to go back and forth between America and Spain. It's just about providing for the community. And so one day, sometime in my future, I would eventually like to have some small, nice restaurant where I just do my best, making the best food I can, and provide for a community, shop local, stimulate the local economy. Um, I want to I want to be on somewhere in like the Bahamas or the Caribbean or South Pacific. I really like the South Pacific, but the storms are a little terrifying.
Oh yeah,
But
absolutely.
getting locally sourced, sustainably caught fish. I would love to go diving for my own fish, my own seafood, um, and just not doing all of this for my own gain or fame. I just want to be a part of a community and provide for them as much as they provide for me.
You are giving me like such strong One Piece Sanji vibes. Like have you ever seen One Piece?
I I only I don't know what part I'm at, but I did get to the part where Sanji came in. So,
Sanji is freaking awesome. I believe he's a sous chef. I believe so. And he everything he does is just about cooking for people. If there's somebody hungry, he's gonna feed them, right? And he
yeah.
does everything out of love, and he's going to, what do you want? Oh, what can you make? I can make you anything. If you can think about it, I can make it. And he wants to make it to the all blue, where all four, parts of the ocean connect, where all
Mhm.
like different kinds of fish, swim, and he can get like the
Yeah.
freshest
I
ingredients,
think
right? Like
yeah, I
that.
think that was his thing with that character Geen, right? He
Mhm.
feeds him
Yeah.
even though the executive chef doesn't want
Hmm.
anything to do with him because he's a pirate. And then he even goes out of his way to feed the guy that immediately turns on them, the
Krieg. Yep.
Creek.
Krieg and the Krieg Pirates. Yep.
Yeah, he
Yep.
doesn't care. He just wants to feed them. And I'm
Yep.
the same way. Like if I'm feeding you, I don't care how you're treating me. Like, I mean, no, that's wrong. I'm still gonna feed you though.
Yeah. Yeah. I
and
do
I don't.
love that. I do really
Yeah,
like that.
I go all out for every dish that I make. You're not going to get a different, a better quality dish for someone that's special to me versus someone that I don't know. They're all going to be special.
I like that. Have you seen the One Piece live action by chance? Have you been able to see it?
No.
So they have the One Piece live action, and we obviously know that game adaptations, anime adaptations to live action typically don't do very well. There's a couple, couple rare ones, but typically they don't do very well. One Piece had the original creator as like executive uh onboard director of the entire shoot, right? And he made
Okay.
them reshoot scenes if he didn't like something, if it wasn't from the anime or if it wasn't from the manga. And I was
Uh-huh.
so happy about that. So massive shout out to Oda. Oda's freaking dope. We love Oda. But yeah, so they made the first season. The first season kind of clears about 55 episodes. So the first like 55
Mhm.
episodes they do basically storytelling wise in the first season, and Taz Skyler, who plays Sanji, does an incredible job, and he actually learned how to cook, and he like would literally cook for his cast members, which is really cool, which is really cool. Like he learned how to do everything that Sanji would do, and it's really cool to see. So if you ever
That's
get the
cool.
chance, definitely be sure to check out the One Piece live action because, like I said, you're definitely giving me Sanji One Piece vibes, and I really like. I mean, what you stand for. I really like that you're basically saying, again, like Sanji, if someone's hungry, I'm gonna feed them, right? I'm not doing this for me. I'm not doing this for fame. I'm not doing this for my own selfish gain. I'm doing this because I want to help people. I want to feed people. I want to make good
Mhm.
meals, and it's fun to do that. So
Yeah.
I love that. I love that.
So Viking asked what restaurant I'm at. I don't think he knew that I moved from Missouri to Tennessee, and now I'm in Virginia, which is just 30 minutes away from my sister in Tennessee. Um, but I'm working at the Hickory. It's a fine dining restaurant, and I posted their Instagram. And
Let's
yes,
go.
my sister did kidnap me from Missouri. She and her husband showed up, and they
We're like,
whisked me
hey,
away.
get in. You trying to, yo, you want to,
Yeah.
let's go, basically.
Uh-huh.
Yo. By the way, Rise, welcome in. How you doing, man? I hope you're doing well. It's good to see you, Rise. Xenon again says, what doesn't kill you makes you stronger. Facts. Big facts.
Mhm.
Let's see here. Stitch says, oh God. Pepper X said, Ed Curry, is that the name? It's a psychopath. Said, you can tell Mesa definitely works in a kitchen by the swearing. Yo. Oh man. Let me see here. There's scientific studies to show that capsaicin increases your blood flow and filtration, as well as releases serotonin and adrenaline. There you go. I mean, there you go, right? Heck yeah. Stidge also says there's a place here called the Gray Plum, that was built with 90% recycled, reclaimed materials and uses exclusively seasonally available local produce. Interesting.
I those kinds of places are where my heart's at. And luckily, at my current restaurant, we try to stick to that as much as possible. We even have our own farm on site.
Nice. Very nice.
Yeah.
So you're getting like the freshest of the fresh. Like, that's what's up. Very nice. Very nice. And there's something about having like livestock too that's also just really cool.
Yeah.
It's really cool to like have chickens. I have chickens. I have chickens. I got
We
ducks. I got horses. And it's
we have
really cool to
amazing
just
eggs from our
yeah.
chickens.
It's
And
just
all of
really
our
cool to like just have animals.
yeah, all
It's
of our
awesome.
excess like kitchen scraps go to feeding the chickens. So like we're getting from them and they're getting from us.
I like that. I like that a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah.
Let me see here. Oh, he was a former sous chef. Got you. Okay, Sanji was a former sous chef. Got you. Uh, wait, the pandemic took out that it took out the gray plume after 10 years of being open.
Mhm.
Damn, the pandemic wrecked so much, man. Like, I know now, like, with cases being, lower. I mean, there's talk of it, rising again, but with cases being lower and, after 3 years of this kind of stuff, a lot of us are probably just like, whatever, right? But no, it's like, dude, the stuff that it wrecked and just the way it changed the world is insane, man. How many businesses unfortunately went under, and just it's so sad, you know?
Mm.
Like the fact that it closed shop for so many people and so many opportunities. It's insane. Let me see here. Mm, said get in the damn car. We're here. Yeah, yes. Absolutely. Like, hey, get in. We're rolling. You trying to roll? We're out in 5. Let's go. Pack your stuff. Let's go. Let's get it. Alrighty. Did you always want to be a chef specifically, or was that something that came later in life?
It was something that came later in life. I think I always kind of had the qualities, like the adventurous, the want to experiment, the enjoyment of working with my hands. And just kind of the way that I as a person have to operate with ADD.
Mhm.
It just worked out, when I got into a kitchen, it was just perfect. It was a perfect fit, and it helped me start solving a lot of the issues that I had supporting myself, which I still have loads of issues, but it's the one thing that I'm actually able to do to support myself while I work these things out, and better myself. Um, and I've always loved food, who doesn't?
I mean, yeah,
Um,
absolutely.
but I can think to just, my childhood and the food that I got from my parents. They were both very adventurous chefs as well. Um, and we just had this huge variety of food, good food, like from scratch, farmers markets. Like we grew up in agriculture town, so we had that stuff readily available. Um, and because of my parents, I got pushed to try everything. Um, yeah, there wasn't much that I didn't eat as a kid. Um, and it kind of helped unknowingly just develop a wide palette for myself.
Thank you for explaining that. Thank you. Um, when it comes to any challenges you faced, what would you say some of the biggest challenges you faced in your time as being a chef?
Um, Definitely mental health. Um, I don't consider myself to have the strongest constitution. Um, but I balance it with my drive and the amount of enjoyment that I get out of everything, which that's a trained thing. I trained myself to enjoy everything. I wanted to I needed to do that to be able to function. Um, just because my mental health can be really bad. And with how competitive really just any kind of job is, like, you apply for a job and they tell you like, oh, you're only really allowed like 3 sick days a year. Like, are you fucking kidding me?
Yeah, that's
I need like a mental health day once a month, maybe more, like just to be okay.
Right.
And like I need clear boundaries between work and home life just so I can like try to get anything done in my personal life. And especially in like kitchens, you are kind of expected to sacrifice everything, your physical health, your mental health, your personal lives for your work. Um, I mean, we're looking for a junior sous right now, and I was reading the job description, and if I were to like, if I were to get that job, that would increase my work hours so much, and like, you can't miss days, which
Yeah.
is not necessarily something I can. I'm not in full control of that, you know. Like, I do a pretty good job, but every couple months or so, like I will just I'll either feel it coming or I'll wake up one day and just be like, I can't do anything today.
Right. And it's
And
not something you're expecting either. Sometimes it just shows up,
yeah,
and you're like, this is
because
how my morning's going now.
yeah, you can't control it. Um, and there's not a lot of leeway for that in any kind of job market, let alone kitchens. Um, it's very easy to find yourself at the back of the pecking order because you missed one day because you didn't have the mental fortitude to make it. Um, and that can be definitely one of the biggest struggles. I know that I always feel like really crummy for a couple days after having missed a day because, like people aren't treating me the same. Uh, it almost feels like the relationship between me and my coworkers or my bosses have changed, and it recovers pretty quickly, but it 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 doesn't stop you from at least spending a couple days feeling like you've lost a lot of opportunities because you have these things in your head you can't control.
Right. And I mean that shouldn't be something that you get, I mean, penalized for, right? You
Yeah.
literally can't control it, but I think that mental health is, I mean, my mom, let's just take my mom, right? She grew up in, I'm not to quote The Rock, but like it's about drive, it's about power. We stay hungry, we devour. Like you just keep
Yeah.
going. You don't stop. You're sick, tough. Keep working,
Yeah.
Like that's the like
Line your
era.
lips and keep them closed.
Right, exactly. That's like the time she comes from. So
Yeah.
there's like, and my mom has been very, there like when we tried to explain to her, my sister and I, mental health and all of that, like she's understanding it. It took her a little while to understand it, but she was very like receptive of it and like, okay, I want to make sure I'm there for my kids and like, you know, so she wasn't like, it's about drive, like keep, like screw your problems. It was never like that, but that's like where she came from. And I think that's honestly kind of just where like modern day work is too, work is
Yeah.
just at this place where it's just like you have, oh, mental health, go to work, keep going, keep working, keep doing this, and it's like I can't. Like, have you ever been in a situation where you can't get out of bed, and not because you're paralyzed, but you essentially are mentally, like you can't
Mhm.
tell your mind, get me out of bed, like I need to get on with my day, and your mind's like, no, it's a depressed day, and it's like there's like in
No, that's okay.
until you like experience that, you don't fully understand it, you know?
Yeah.
Like,
And it's a hard conversation to have with my coworkers, my colleagues, and even my family. Um, because we just experience things differently, everyone does.
right,
Um, yeah, and like, something my family likes to say is, it never stops, which
mhm,
to them means like it never stops, so you can't stop. But to me, it's like it never stops, but I do, and I can't control that.
right,
And, it just gives you this sinking feeling like I'm just going to get more behind every time this happens. And like, will I ever catch up?
Right. And it's
And
something,
yeah,
it's something that should be met with love, you know. But again, I just think, like, I don't really think modern day work is there yet, you know. There are definitely some bosses and managers that understand it, they get it, maybe they've been through it, but work as a whole is like, oh, you're tired, you can't get out of bed, tough, get out of bed or you're fired, you know, or you're getting
yeah,
occurrences which are gonna get you fired. And it's like you don't get it, you know. But there's just been this, you know, like this just sheet of work basically, you know. This is how it works, you know. You grow up and you
mhm,
go to high school and then you do this and then you go to college and then you go get a job and you work 9 to 5 and then that's it, you know. Like it's always just been this one thing. It's always just been this
yeah,
constant hamster wheel throughout humanity. And it's
mhm,
like things are different now. Things change.
yeah.
Like we've
That's
always been constantly evolving as people. Like we're constantly changing. New things are happening and it's like I need a day. I need a mental day. Mental day, you don't need that.
that.
And it's like I need you to understand that,
Mentally, I
bro.
never heard
If
of
you
her.
need me to come back 110%, I need to take a day to charge that extra 10%, you know?
Yeah,
It's like you want me to be that 155%. It's about drive, it's about powers. We every day. And it's like I can't. I have to recharge. I have to do something nice for me. And it's like, well,
yeah,
that's why you go home. No, I go home to recharge from the day, and then I gotta go back the next day. And now I need time to recover from that thing that happened. You know,
yeah,
going home and just taking a nap, that's not recovery. So it's like,
yeah,
we got to be like more understanding towards mental health because it's like, dude, oh man, like if people understood mental health more, oh man, mm, something I'm very passionate about. If
yeah. Same.
Yeah,
I
definitely.
I don't have the answers of like what we can do better. I just know that we need to do better as someone that like suffers from that constantly.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah.
Um, have you noticed in your time as being a chef, have you noticed any main differences from the 5-star chef experience compared to a normal everyday restaurant kitchen? Have you noticed any what would be the main differences? Do things like drastically change from a 5-star restaurant to a you know a normal restaurant, normal kitchen,
Mhm.
or is it pretty the same between the two?
So so 5 star itself, um, it's it's a Forbes rating, like the Forbes
Yeah.
magazine or Forbes 500. So 5 star is a Forbes rating, and they have, like a set curriculum of these things that you need to meet for for you to be a 5 star restaurant. Um, and so though that curriculum heavily impacts what you do at a restaurant in terms of quality of food, the types of dishes that you're serving. Um, and so at a restaurant that's not really worried about their Forbes rating, or a restaurant that's not going for a Forbes rating, it it's and that's not necessary.
Hmm.
Forbes isn't necessary, but
Yeah.
some rich people care. So I
Yeah.
guess if you want to make money,
Yeah.
that's what you want to do. Um, but the big difference that I notice is in a lot of like technique, like the things that we do to the ingredients before they make it to the plate can take days.
Yeah.
I know like
Planning days ahead.
our $75 steak, it when we get it in like we get the whole like slab of meat, and it comes from like our cows on site. And we break that down into its individual components of like like the steaks that are going to be sold. We usually use the rest of it for like our burger grind. Some of it we use for our Reginette. I can't remember the full name of it. And those steaks, we season them. We have like a special blend which changes every so often, and we sear them. We vacuum seal them with like herbs and butter. And
Ooh.
we dry age them for like 2 days before we vacuum seal them with like herbs and butter. And then we'll have them like sous vide right before service. So they're like tenderizing,
Mhm.
and then they get fired and put on a plate, garnished and served. So there's a lot of effort that goes into that, into making it as delicious as possible,
Right.
while also
Days
like,
in advance, many
yeah,
steps before it
yeah,
even hits the table.
yeah. Um, and it's not just like you're prepping what you need that day and then serving it then, which is perfectly fine. But like what we're selling is, at a five-star restaurant, what we're selling is our passion. Like the want to develop flavor in these ingredients and bring it together in the most satisfying but also like unique way that we can think of. And that's where a lot of the big prices on these plates come from, is you're buying our passion. You're not just buying food, you're buying our passion. That's why we take pride in every single component of it. That's why we plate the dishes in these special ways. That's why we work on new menus constantly, new recipes constantly. We're always evolving, um, and learning new things and experimenting with new flavors. We want to show you everything that's going on in our minds.
I like that. You're paying for fresh ingredients, you're paying for the experience, you're paying for the passion.
Hmm.
It's a very clear difference from going to, like a fast food restaurant and then actually sitting, being able to sit at a restaurant and really get the full experience of something fresh, something prepared, something that you can really like feel the love in because it was prepared that way. I like that. I really like that
Hmm.
explanation. Thank you. Would you say that you have a specific dream dish? And if so, what would it be? Like is there a specific dish that you haven't made yet, but it's something you want to shoot for at some point, like a very specific dish in itself?
Okay, so I observed this sort of peculiarity to steamed quinoa, in
Ooh.
that when sort of mixed with water and drizzled, it's almost like building a drip sandcastle. And if you get the right quinoa, it almost resembles the sandy beaches of California. And so I just have this like dish idea in my head, and it's not feasible. Like maybe if I'm working at a restaurant that serves like 25 people a night, I could do this. But this isn't something that I could serve at a restaurant that could be between 10 and 120 covers on any given night. But I just have this idea of like making a beautiful drip sandcastle on some kind of like seashell plate, and then using like lightly blanched different greens to resemble like seaweed, um, creating like a vegan sort of like fish roe, um, or like even making like things that are almost textured like to appear as beach glass or like different elements of the ocean on this plate. with, I don't know, some kind of like salty, acidic dressing, like light dressing that goes over it. And so it would be a salad, but it would look like a drip sandcastle with seaweed and, little like flavorful beads that pop in your mouth and give you this like salty umami flavor, which could very easily be vegan, or they could just be fish roe.
I love that
And so
creativity.
I think
I love that. That sounds awesome.
that's
That sounds
that's the
really
dish
cool.
that's been floating around my head. And I'm not working at the appropriate place for it right now
Mhm.
because we're very focused on like Appalachian food. Um, but maybe I can work on it myself, and if I stodge at a place on the coast or when I have my own restaurant, that could be my specialty.
Heck yeah, I love that. Well, I wish you the best of luck with that, and I hope to see that on a plate one day. I really hope to see that on a plate one day. And
Yeah.
and if it does come to fruition, which I hope it does, you got to be sure to send me a picture if I don't get to see it in person.
Okay.
I wanna see that. I want to see that come to life. Let's see here.
When
But oh, go ahead.
when I have the pull to do what I want in a restaurant, I'll be sure to have you as a guest.
Let's go. Let's
Yeah.
go. I would love to. I would love to attend. I would love to attend. You got to tell me if there's a theme because I got to have a specific suit. You know what I mean? I
Yeah.
got
We'll
I
get
got a couple different
you
suits, right?
we'll
I
get
gotta
you Mama
fit.
White Wolf, Sister Wolf, and you guys can come and rate our food, honestly.
Absolutely. I would love to. And plus it'd be amazing to meet you. Are you kidding me? It'd be incredible
Yeah.
to meet you. Just hang
I
out
can't
and
believe
talk. Heck yeah.
we grew up so close to each other. We never met in
Yeah,
person.
no, you're right. I had when I was living in the other city that I was living in, I had a buddy that was 15 minutes away. I knew him for 4 years, never met him. Never met 15 minutes away. And I
Wow.
never met him. I live in a different city now, but it's I mean, you could be so close to somebody and just never meet them in person. It's crazy. It's definitely crazy. Um
Mhm.
Let me see here. Viking says, "What's the highest Michelin star rating?" And then Stitch says, "Michelin stars are completely different. You get Michelin star for a dish, not for the restaurant." Said, "Also, it's worth mentioning that the standards set by Forbes were set in 1958." Oh, dope. So some things have changed, maybe
Yeah. Yeah.
maybe just a smidge, just a little bit. Viking
Mhm.
says you have ribeye steaks. Said if so, do you think it's worth the money for it?
Um, Honestly, it depends on, because like a restaurant steak is going to be unique to that restaurant. So either you're going to love it, you're going to hate it, you're
True.
going to eat it, you're going to be like, I can do better at home.
Hmm.
So it's about finding that restaurant that you want to go spend that money for ribeye steak at. Um, but no, we don't do ribeye. We do, what do we do? I can't remember the name of the cut. It's not your standard cut of meat. I can't remember the name of it.
Stidge, you gotta help us out. You gotta help us out, Stidge. We have a he is a journeyman bladesmith, I believe. I believe it's what
Okay.
it's called. I think so.
Yeah, I was there
Yeah.
for part of his interview, and he was talking about um some of the requirements to reach journeyman bladesmith.
Hmm. Yeah, freaking insane. You gotta be able to
Yeah.
shave, like a portion of hair off. It's gotta be sharp enough for
Yeah.
that. It's
Bend
gotta
your
be able
knife
to just
90 degrees and have it go back.
Yep. Yep.
Yeah. I
Because it
can't make
can't
a
have a
knife,
bend
but I
in
can
it.
sharpen a knife.
It's insane the process that you have to go through. And you can't fail a
Mhm.
single lesson because if you fail a single lesson, it's over. Like, dang. Golly. Let me see. But I like that. I like that also. You said it's kind of like it would be kind of specific per restaurant, like per restaurant, you're not going to get the same thing from this restaurant to this restaurant. They, the cooks at this restaurant cooks the ribeye completely different than they do at this restaurant. So I got you. It could be completely different from restaurant to restaurant. So it varies. Mama Wolf says having work-life balance is important. I'm very passionate about my mental health and physical health. Setting boundaries is very important. It is. It definitely is. And being heard as well, making sure that your bosses know that you are important just as much as the job getting done is important. You are important because you're a worker.
Yep.
You're not a robot. You know.
Yeah.
So your
Big
mental
agree.
health matters just as much as getting the job done matters as well. Xenon says, I love dry aged meat. You said slaughtered on site. Said EU doesn't even allow that, I believe. Said, oh wow.
Mhm. Yeah,
Uh,
so our butcher house,
mhm,
it's not near the kitchen. Like when we get it, it's cleaned.
mhm.
So it's not like attached to us. Although I think in America they can do that. I'm not sure.
Got you. Mama Wolf says there's a lot of employers who do not care about your mental health. We absolutely have to set boundaries for ourselves. Mental and physical self-care is crucial. It is. Absolutely. Um, Spooky says, Salt, what's your dream chef knives? Like what would be like your set of dream knives?
I'm trying to find the knife right now, but I don't have a picture of it anymore. But
Also,
they're
I need to get that recipe that you sent me. I need to get that
oh
here.
yeah, I sent you the file. So I don't know how to.
I should be able to download it. Let me see. I think I got it downloaded. Oh, I got it. Here we go. I got it. Rosemary sage roast chicken. I got the whole thing here. Sweet. Very nice.
Sweet. Ah,
I'm gonna have to see if I can copy and paste this in chat. Let me see if I can. I don't know how many like characters I can put in a YouTube chat. I don't I don't know. I'm gonna try to
mm,
paste this in the chat. I'm gonna try to. I might only be able to do a certain like a little bit at a time. Let me see. Okay. Nope. I've already done too much. Okay.
well, maybe are we able to put the doc file on your Gilded for everyone to download?
I can do that. Yes, I definitely can do that. Here, I'm gonna try to break this up a little bit. I'm gonna try to break this up a little bit. Let me see. Okay. Uh, Let me see here. Okay. Might be able to get step 2. Not too far off. Okay. Okay, preheat oven. Here we go. Yeah, I'm not too far off. Sweet. Okay, cool. This one actually worked out a little bit. Okay. All right. And actually this will stay in the chat room too. This will stay in the chat room too. So,
Cool. Okay, so maybe Stidge can help me out here. Because Stidge knows about making knives. So it's a Zwilling and Henkel's, but it was the knives that they were doing with that like one knife maker, and he would do like hand forged knives. And I can't think of his name, but there was this specific knife that he did. It was discontinued a long time ago, It was very expensive. It's probably even more expensive now if I could find it. But that is my dream knife. It is absolutely beautiful. And I want to be able to share a picture of how fucking gorgeous it is, but I cannot find it.
I think I almost have like half of it. I have like half of this recipe done. I have like half of it done. Um. Oh God, where was I? Where was I? I ended off at drizzle a bit of olive oil over the. Here we go. There we go. Let's go. Let's go. I'm doing it. I'm doing it, chef. I'm doing it.
Hell yeah, chef.
Let's go. Let's go.
My my current knives are actually Gansheng knives. Um, I can't remember the line that they are. I have them at work in my bag, but they're German steel, German knife shape, but they have a Japanese handle because Gansheng's a Japanese company. But they did a couple lines where they used different metals or different steels from different parts of the world, and they took inspiration from their knife designs. So I think they have like a French ones. They have the German ones. I'm a really big fan of German knife shapes, but I love Japanese handles. For some reason, something about like German, French, or American handle styles, um, they agitate my arthritis like immediately.
I
But a
can
Japanese
definitely
handle,
I can
amazing.
definitely I can definitely agree to that. There are some handles that I like. Yeah, I get like cramps in my wrist. Yeah,
Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah, they're just so easy to hold. And then I, as an American, I'm used to American and German steel. So it's easier for me to maintain that edge. But I do have a couple Japanese steel knives, just cheap ones that I wanted to experiment with. I have a living edge knife, um, because I wanted to kind of challenge myself to not let it get rusty and to maintain that edge.
Okay, chef. The moment of truth. The moment of truth. I've done it. I've done it, chef. I have fully successfully pasted the entire recipe and the entire way of cooking this, all of the instructions in the chat. There you go. And
Oh, wow, chef.
they are there time stamped as well. So boom. There we go. At this
Mhm.
moment in the stream, starting from I should be able to see starting from I can't actually see the timestamp now, but from whichever that moment was right there until right now, it is there forever.
Yeah.
So let's go. Nice. We did it. We did
Cool.
we did it.
Yeah. So
We got it.
this is a simple recipe. It's one of my favorites just because it's just got like so much flavor. Um,
Ooh.
I love roasting whole chickens. I think it's better than like roasting like any single part.
Mm.
Partially because you have the bone in there, which provides a lot of flavor, but it also drastically changes the cook time. Um, well, maybe not drastically, but I don't know. There's just something so pleasant about roasting an entire chicken. Um, but yeah, so I wrote this recipe to be delicious but easy, something that's accessible and easy to find ingredients. And I didn't want it to be bogged down with like detailed instructions of like super complicated things. But if you know how to desiccate the skin on a chicken, like, and do that a day in advance, prep your chicken, um, salt the skin, and leave it uncovered in your fridge overnight. That can really help with the crispiness of the skin. Um, if you know about brining, that could be helpful. Like really there's so much room for a lot of different tricks that you might like, based on your own experiences cooking food. Um, you might look at this and be like, "Oh, I could fit this in there. I could change this, I could tweak this, and it'll be better for my palate." There's a lot of room for that, you know.
No,
Um,
absolutely. Yeah.
yeah. And it's such a simple but delicious flavor combination of garlic, sage, and rosemary. Um, yeah, I love it.
It looks like a really good recipe. I'm gonna have to try it. I'm definitely gonna have to try it. Spooky says, Salt, do you have a favorite cutting board?
Uh, Honestly, I don't know of any like brands. Typically when it comes to like kitchen stuff, um, I look for people that like make things by hand. Like I look for quality stuff that's like made by hand. So if I were to get myself a nice cutting board, I would want to get something like off. I would do a lot of research into a good Etsy shop that does like good honest woodworking
Oh yeah.
and makes good wooden cutting boards. And there's a decent amount of work that goes into keeping a wooden cutting board, and I'm ready for that. I feel like I have the passion to maintain those kinds of things. Um, but that's probably what I would go for. I think I might choose like walnut, something dense and sturdy. Um, and I would get something like obscenely tall because most cooking surfaces are a little too short for me and it hurts my back. And so just having a little bit more elevation,
Oh yeah.
yeah.
'Cause I forget you're tall. You aren't we the same? I think we're the same height, right? I think
I'm 6 foot.
never mind. We're not the same height. You tall. You are I am
Yeah.
5'10". um Listen, I'm 5'10", and I'm over here talking about, oh yeah, like my back, yeah, I gotta get like a like a specialized thing because I'm tall, right? And then you're
Mhm.
like, oh yeah, I'm 6 foot. And I'm like, never mind, I'm complaining.
I have
It's definitely
coworkers
not
that are
that
taller
bad.
than me. I have
Yo,
coworkers that are taller than me, and like we are always like finding new things to put under our cutting boards to lift up the surface. It's great.
oh
One
man,
of my
that's
chefs, he does like a yoga pose while he's doing knife work to like bring himself to make himself
like
like
down.
half a foot shorter.
Nice.
But like I can't do that. I don't that doesn't
Yeah, I'm not
that hurts my
flexible like
back.
that. I can't. Nah.
Yeah.
I'd bend my back in half. You know what I mean?
Hmm. Yeah.
Stidge says, I recommend the largest cutting board you can feasibly fit in your kitchen.
Yeah. I actually there's this YouTuber, what's his name? Something Chablowski. I'm sure we all know him. He's amazing. But he built his own kitchen islands, like a modular kitchen island. It's got power, it's got trash cans, like all that kind of
I
stuff.
think I know who I think I know who you're talking about. I think so.
Ethan Chablowski. He's great. I love his
Um,
recipes. Yeah, Ethan
it definitely
Chablowski.
yeah, it definitely sounds familiar.
Mhm. And his series of episodes where he went to Mexico City are so good. Like he's just kind of exploring like authentic. You find this on the streets and in the markets of Mexico City. Beautiful.
Love that.
But he's got this episode where he talks about like how he built this table, and he's got the blueprint for how he built it and like the materials he used.
Mhm.
And so I want to build that.
Nice. Heck yeah.
Yeah.
I love that that inspiration. Now, Salt, I know it's been a little while, so I got just a few more questions for you before you go, but I know it's been a while. I don't want to take up your time too much. Thank you
Okay.
very much again for joining us today. Seriously, you've been very kind with your time. I appreciate you.
Mhm. Thank you
Um,
for having me. I'm having a lot of fun.
100%. 100%. Thank you so much for teaching us so much also. Alrighty. What are some of your favorite dishes of all time? Of all time.
Oh, My God.
And
I
it
told
doesn't have to be
myself,
like 1, 2, 3, like as many. Fire them off.
I told myself I was gonna like actually prepare the answer to this question because I always get
I
this
remember
question,
that.
but I
I
can
remember
never
that.
choose. Favorite dishes of all time. Green curry. That's something my dad made all the time growing up. He learned it in Thailand. When he spent time there, it is absolutely delicious. Um, Indian curry or chicken masala, chicken marsala. Um, hmm, else? There was this silly little, it's probably like the first thing that I ever like, the first like official recipe that I ever cooked. And I learned it from a neighbor. And it was just crescent roll dough, but you don't make crescent rolls, you roll it out and use it like a pie crust.
Ooh,
You
okay.
layer in ricotta cheese, spinach, broccoli, and then my family always wanted to add bacon. I preferred it
Oh.
without bacon. And you just layer
Oh.
it like that, like a casserole lasagna deal, and it's so good. It's so good.
That does sound
It's so
really good.
simple.
It
Yeah,
sounds like a really big like pot pie kind of, but it sounds really good.
it's so
Like
good. It's amazing. Um, so that's I don't know what that's called, but that's one of my favorite dishes. Um, what else? Hmm. I really like cold like noodles, like something that you find in like Korea or like a cold Japanese noodle, like buckwheat noodles or um, somen noodles, chili oil noodles, peanut noodles, like pad thai. Pad thai is peanut. Chow mein.
chow mein is so good. I do really.
Any kind of pasta.
I want to definitely try like some real like authentic like good chow mein, like some really
Mhm.
good stuff.
There's so many
Really good
different
stuff.
kinds of chow mein. Like, if you go hunting for authentic chow mein, you're gonna have like over 100 different chow meins.
I gotta try them all then.
Probably
I
more.
gotta try them all
Yeah,
then.
yeah, probably more. And like, they're vastly different. There's like, is it Hong Kong chow mein? It's more of a thinner noodle and it's like deep fried. Uh,
Ooh.
maybe not deep fried. It's not deep fried in like the way that like an American would,
Yeah.
but
Yeah.
it's like wok fried, right? So it's like this crispy deal. I think it's Hong Kong City. Hong Kong City. I don't remember. Um, there's so many different kinds of chow meins. And like I'm basic and I like chow mein from Panda Express. I
I
think that that's like the
Me
nicest like
too. Me too.
flavor wise. And so like that's kind of my standard for chow mein. Like I've had better. I don't know if I could make better. Um, but like I want those noodles or like an udon noodle, and I want to make chow mein out of that with like that kind of same basic like the veggies that they have in there, the flavor profile that they have in there, but just better. Like that's my standard is Panda Express, which a lot of people talk shit about Panda Express. Panda Express like originally started in China, by the way, and they're like a very ritzy hotel, and then they have their like fast food chain. And I worked closely with a Panda Express, and they actually imported almost all of their ingredients from China, and a lot of them were very authentic. So
Nice.
props for them. They did invent the recipe of, or their orange chicken is like very much like their own. Like that's not a common thing in China. It's definitely more
I
common
will
in
say
Asia.
their orange
But
chicken is
yeah,
amazing. It's
there's a
unlike
reason
anything I've
it's
ever had. It's
yeah,
so
there's
good.
a reason it's popular. It's delicious. It just, it was still invented by a Chinese company.
But I like that. I like so you have a lot of recipes, a lot of dishes. ranging from all different types of stuff that you
Mhm.
like. I like that. I
Yeah.
like that a lot. Now,
I
oh, go ahead.
One of my favorite activities when I worked at Newport Academy, my chef had intentionally put up this really beautiful map of the world. Um, and it was made out of all these individual like wood pieces that fit together like a puzzle.
Really?
And so I found him like standing in front of it purposely so that when one of the clients, these like young girls came by, he could start a conversation about the world and see where they talk about like what they bring up. And then he would segue into food from that region and see like how much they know, if there's anything they want to try, and then we would put that on the menu. And that was something that I continued doing. And I would Another thing that I learned from him is I would do research into the history of these dishes and the culture, and I would try to extend that education of that culture with that dish when I'm serving it. And that was a lot of fun for me.
Nice. Very nice. I like that. So you said it. You said the map was made out of little wooden pieces, and they all came together like a puzzle.
Yeah,
That's
they
really
all fit
cool.
together like a
That's
puzzle.
really
I
cool.
mean,
And then
you couldn't like pull them off and put them back
yeah.
together. It was like a art piece.
Mhm.
But that's kind of what it looked like to me.
That is really cool though that this chef would like, oh, this place over here? Yeah, you're pointing to this? Okay, cool. Where here's like 3 recipes from that place. Like that's really cool. That's super
Yeah.
freaking awesome. So it became
Hmm.
informative also. I like that.
Yeah. Like
Now,
we'd fish for like what their interests are. Like, hey, like where on this map would you like to visit? Like, is there any food there that you find interesting? Like, oh, you've always wanted to try Thai fried rice, or oh, that's something that your family used to make, and you love Thai fried rice. Like, I'm gonna make sure you get that. We had one girl, she'd been asking for Thai fried rice, and then she wound up leaving, and I remember chasing her out the door with the Thai fried rice that I just barely finished, and I gave it to her in the car with her family, and I was like, eat this on your way home, or like whatever you want to do with it, but like I needed to make this for you before you left.
I love that. That is so freaking cool. That is so freaking cool.
Yeah, I'm glad I didn't miss her.
Do you have a goal you are shooting for when it comes to the world of cooking and being a chef? Is there one main goal that you'd like to achieve at some point?
Um, I know it's kind of cliche, but I'd like to leave it better than I found it. Um, you know, I really liked what my first chef taught me about like what culinary culture could be, about love and kindness and passion and being humble and challenging each other to be better, inspiring each other to try new things and create new things. And that's what I want to do. I don't want anyone to say like, "Oh, she was awful, she was mean, she sucked." Like I want people to say like, I liked how positive she was, and I liked that she was always wanting to learn. And, you know, I want to learn just like that. I want to have that excitement over the most mundane things to the most fantastical things that she had.
I like that. So kind of like a full circle moment of starting
Yeah.
with being humble, being kind, showing love and compassion, making
Mhm.
things not for fame, not for any of that, but to help people, to see people smile, and that's how you want to leave it. You want to leave it how you started. You want to leave it with the same emotion, the same feel of how you went into it
Mhm.
and what you were taught. You want to make sure that as you exit it, whenever that may be, you want to make sure that you did your part and you did the same thing that your first chef taught you. I love that. I really like that.
Yeah.
So, do you have any chefs that you look up to? I would imagine, right? Maybe. But
Well, there's Chef Travis Darling. who is at it's Chef Travis on Instagram. He was my first chef. He instilled in me all these qualities that I'm going to carry with me the rest of my life. About being kind and humble and loving people no matter what. He taught me things like don't serve something that you wouldn't serve yourself. Um, like always do your best. Uh, just simple but powerful stuff like that. And he lived it, like I never saw him falter from providing that amount of like love and care to everybody. I could see when things were hard. I could see that he was human, but he never approached anyone negatively. He was always full of love. He was always thinking about in all those bad situations, he was always thinking about how he could have a positive impact on people. Um, or how he could aid the situation rather than make it worse or rather than just solve it or whatever. Everything for him was about opportunities to do good, to do better, to help people, to teach people, to inspire people, to learn from people. So he's definitely my first and biggest shout out. Um, and my current chef, another Travis, Chef Travis Milton, here in Bristol, Virginia. He's amazing. I really connect with him on a lot of the struggles that we talked about today. Him and I connect a lot with that. He has a lot of compassion, excitement for food, um, and he's very outgoing and he's got a lot of drive, but there's just so much about him that makes him human and relatable and kind and funny and just fun to be around. Um, and he's brilliant and I really like working for him and learning under him. I don't know if he has an Instagram, but you can find him and a lot of his stuff on uh, Hickory Fine Dining on Instagram. Um, who else? Guy Fieri is awesome. He's funny. He's kind. I haven't met him personally, but he's just like this lovable guy, right? But he's also like this amazing humanitarian. A lot of his like work and like revenue he puts back into like charities and um like stimulating like economies and that kind of stuff. Like he's a very giving person, and everyone I know that has met him and worked with him said that he's just always kind. He's always nice. He doesn't lose it, like a lot of other chefs. Um yeah, I don't think that's about it.
Love it.
For my chef shout outs. I want to meet Guy Fieri. I am probably gonna dress like him for Halloween.
Nice. Very nice. What do you feel is unique about cooking, and what will make you want to keep cooking for years to come?
Hmm. I don't know if cooking is that unique. It to me, it feels like art. It's an expression of your passion. Um, but at the same time, it's almost like medicine. You know, uh, it's a crucial part of our health, not just nutrition wise, but
It can
in
it can
providing
be
comfort.
therapeutic to
Yeah,
to
yeah,
create.
yeah. It's just as therapeutic as it is nutritional. Um, but I mean, you can find that with medicine. Um, with doctors. You know, doctors do that every day, nurses do that every day, physical therapists, like all those kinds of people. Like, I don't think there's anything truly unique to food. I think it's just
Haley
it's
says
just a
family.
fantastic necessity.
Big facts.
Yeah.
Family.
The uniqueness is in the diversity of it. Um, you know, on one end you've got how recipes have evolved over the centuries, you know, and they carry with them culture and history and people's lives, um, people's stories. And then on the other end, you've just got this chef who's just trying to like figure her shit out and try her best every single day, putting her passion into this recipe that or this dish that's like pretty good for a fine dining restaurant, you know? Like it can be anything.
If someone asked you how to get into the life of being a chef, what advice would you give them?
Um, do you like school? Because, you
It's
know,
a
if
couple
you do,
years. Yeah.
culinary school can be pretty freaking fun or it can be pretty awful.
Oh yeah.
And you don't need it to be a chef. You can just dive right in, you know? Um, find somewhere that will take you. Start as a dishwasher, but just get into that kitchen and just start cooking.
Learn the
And
environment, start picking up
yeah,
on, what people say, like
mm,
kind of like
don't yeah,
kitchen
don't give up
lifestyle.
if you get a bad chef. Don't give up if you have people that don't want to teach you. Find those people that are willing to teach you. There's tons of free education online. There's books available. All the things that they're going to teach you in culinary school. It's mostly available for free, or you can just get the book pretty cheap on Amazon or use bookstore. You could borrow it from someone. You know, like it's out there. It's not being safeguarded. So there's many ways to get into cooking. You know, I just kind of accidentally found out that I loved it, that it was great for my mental health, that it was great for my work ethic. And then I met the right chef who saw that I had a good foundation for what he had to teach me. And he, you know, elevated me from a dirty line cook to, and I say that with, if you're a dirty line cook, you know what I'm talking about. I say that with love. He took me from a little pizza person covered in flour uh to creating art with food, you know? Um, so you just got to go for it.
I love it. I absolutely
But
love it.
culinary school is a great way to start, honestly. I want to go to culinary school. I just don't know when would be a good time. I'm fascinated by food science and I would love to go to culinary school just to like focus on that.
To get that experience.
Yeah.
Um I got just a very few more questions for you. I want to be very respectful of your time. It's been a long one, so thank you very much for every minute of your time. Thank you. If you were to start from scratch in the world of cooking, knowing everything that you know up until now, would you change anything?
Um, I think the only thing that I would change is how long I stayed at shitty places.
Yeah.
I I I would try to recognize, you know, where is a good place for me to fit in sooner than later because there's a lot of people that I've loved cooking with. There's a lot of people that I've hated cooking with. Um, but I would love to do it again. I don't care how much I know. I would love to do it again because I love them and I know that they're gonna have more to teach me. You know, my chef taught me so much over the course of time that I worked with him. You know, like I owe all of my knowledge to him, but there's vastly more knowledge that he could teach me still. And I would go work with him or for him in a heartbeat.
I like that. So working with the chef that valued you because you know that every single moment there would not be a single wasted moment. I like that. I really really like that. And knowing your own value as well, realizing that you stayed at these places and you were underappreciated, and that's not okay. And it's something that happens so often. It's something that we got to break. We got to break out of. We have to realize how important we are, and we have to realize if this place is not willing to treat me with the love and respect that I deserve, then I need to go. You know? Yeah.
Thank you, Mama White Wolf. I'm having a nice time sharing all this with you. And yes, I do stay in contact with him. I have him on Instagram. And I'll sometimes message him as like just like an emergency, like, chef, help. What do I do? Or chef, what was that recipe that you did that one time that I can like I can't remember any of it, just that it was delicious. Or chef, what was that ingredient that you used? I'm trying to make gluten-free something and I can't remember the name of the flour. Um yeah. And he's always been there for me. So, he's always responded back with like, "Oh, I would do this," or "You could do this. Have you thought about this?" Or "This was the recipe that I did." Um or "This was the ingredient that I used." Just yeah.
Being able to keep that contact. I like that. Do you have anything to say to the people?
Anything to say to the people? Hmm. Yes, chef.
I love it so much. I love it. I love it. I love it. Mesa, where can people find you? Where can they find you, chef?
I guess like Instagram, I don't really do much with it, but I might someday. Like you can like DM me if you want to talk or have questions or um have like pictures of food and I'm gonna get excited. Um but I what is my
We should have
I
that linked below.
asked
We should have that linked in the
the
description. So if you
underscore
guys want to check out Salt, we should have that linked. Yes, we should have that linked in the description. You can find Salt on Instagram. Salt, seriously, thank you so much. Thank you very much for your time. It has been
thank you for
incredible. It's
having
been
me.
wonderful. We thank you very much for being here. Thank you for teaching us so much about the life of being a cook, being a chef, the etiquette that goes into it, some of the not so good moments of it, the really good moments, the things you're able to take away after years and years of experience, the fact that you drop yourself and you are humble in every day, in every moment, in every dish. It truly has been incredible. Thank you for your time. We appreciate you so freaking much. Thank you.
Thank you for having me.
Thank you.
I've been a subscriber, follower, all that for years. You know, I love you. I love your mom. I love everything you do. And I'm just so happy that I get to be a part of this. And I think you're amazing. I adore your positivity. You're
Thank
just
you so much.
unending fun and happiness. And it's inspiring. You know, if you were a chef, I would have gave you a chef. I'm just kidding. You're a
I
chef to me.
I make eggs sometimes.
Mhm.
I'll
Yes,
I'll
but
have
you
to
truly are.
I'll have to send you a picture of my scrambled eggs maybe. I
Oh yeah.
make a few things here and there, you know.
You
Thank you
truly
so
are
much.
inspiring. I love everything that you do, and I tell people about you all the time.
I'm
I'm just so stoked that I get to be a part of this.
hey. Likewise, thank you very much. Thank you for being a part of my life. Thank you for allowing me to be a part of your life at all. I really appreciate you, and thank you so much. Salt, thank you for joining us. Thank you for hanging out. Thank you for educating us. I hope you have an incredible rest of your Friday and an incredible weekend too. We love you so much, and thank you for the continued support over the years. You are a dear friend of mine, and I love you very much.
Thank you, Chef. You have a wonderful night too.
You have an incredible time. I love you so much, Chef. Bye.
Bye.
Oh my god, I love her so much, man. She's incredible. Can we get some Yo, can we get some hype in the chat, baby? Oh my goodness. Wow. Salt, thank you so freaking much, man. Thank you so freaking much. That was incredible. That was fantastic. That was absolutely fantastic. If you guys want to check out Salt, you can check out Salt. Link in the description down below. Link down below. You can check out Salt on Instagram. Thank you guys very much for being a part of this episode. Thank you guys so much for listening to us. Thank you guys very much for being here. Thank you guys for the continued support. We appreciate you very much. Thank you guys so much. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Today's been a wonderful day. It's been a wonderful episode. Thank you so much. Yeah. Yes. We definitely, absolutely. I second that. I second that, Stidge. We need a cookbook. We definitely need a Salt cookbook. Yes, we do. Yes, we do. Alrighty. But you guys, I really hope all of you have an incredible rest of your Friday. I really hope all of you have an incredible weekend also. Thank you guys so much for hanging out. Thank you guys so much for hanging out and being a part of this episode. Thank you guys for supporting this series, episode 16. Next week, we'll be bringing on my buddy Zhao, and we will be learning about alcohol. We'll be learning about alcohol. We'll be learning about all kinds of stuff. So it's going to be a good time as well. Thank you guys for supporting this series and enjoying this series. It's something I'm very passionate about. It's something that I've wanted to create because I wanted to give people the ability to speak. I've wanted to learn about so many different things as well. I've wanted to feature so many very close friends in a different way also. And it truly has been a great time. So thank you very much, Wolfpack. Thank you. I thank you very much for listening, and I will catch you in the next one. Thank you very much, Wolfpack, and deuces.
No line was cut, no whale was freed. The captain's mind was not on greed, but he belonged to the whaleman's creed. He took that ship in tow. Soon may the wellerman come to bring us sugar and tea.